Good morning, everybody. I'm Colin. Welcome to my house. It's time for Charity Hammer, and before we get started, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate all of you watching. Even when I was really little, it was important to my parents that everybody knew our house was a place that you could come and you could hang out and you could have fun and that my mom would feed you. That's really continued forward with my love for this community and this hobby. And so I've brought, like 30, 40 friends over, and we're gonna have them all here and we're gonna feed them all, and we're gonna put on a show for you guys, and it's gonna be just amazing. So bear with us for the next few days, hang out, enjoy yourselves, and it's time for Charity Hammer.
Charity Hammer is a Warhammer 40k live stream event that takes place over the course of 3 days to raise money for Child's Play charity, dedicated to improving the lives of children with toys and games in their network of over 185 hospitals and now shelters worldwide. Since 2003, Child's Play has partnered with children's hospitals around the globe by supplying video games and consoles to play, providing resources like their therapeutic video game guide, and acting as a hub of knowledge where gaming and technology are concerned in the children's hospital setting. Since 2015, they've expanded their support to include domestic violence shelters as well. 3 years ago, we created Charity Hammer to support this great organization and the life-affirming work that they do. Last year, we raised over $40,000 for Child's Play, and this year our goal is to raise $50,000. This year, beginning Thursday, June 23rd at 8 a.m. Pacific through Sunday, June 26th at 3 p.m. Pacific, we will host the 4th annual Charity Hammer, an 80-hour Warhammer 40k marathon gaming stream. You can look forward to 3 live streams of continuous gaming action, along with a 4th stream featuring commentary, interviews, and the ever-fun overnight gaming sessions with some of your favorite Best in Tabletop personalities. You can also count on mountains of Warhammer 40k swag, with some big surprises being given away throughout the entire weekend. To support Child's Play, just go to charityhammer.com and click the Donate Now button. For every $30 you donate, you'll get a raffle ticket for a chance to win a prize, including your chance at one of the grand prizes, a $1,200 gift certificate to Hammerhead Games, or having your army painted by Sean Naden. This is your chance to watch many of the best 40k players in the world, win some incredible prizes, and most importantly, improve the lives of children when they need it the most through the power of play. We can't wait for you to join us from June 23rd through the 26th for one of the largest and most important streaming events in 40k, the 4th annual Charity Hammer 2022.
Hey, welcome to Charity Hammer. It's John and Colin.
Hello.
We're here to get you ready. I was going to say get them started, but they're not doing anything. We're doing the things.
Yeah.
We thought it'd be fun to put the camera this way so you could see people coming and going and getting ready for their games back there. We're just about an hour out from starting 80 hours straight of 40K. So that's going to be really great. If you don't know who we are, I guess we should start with that. That would be weird.
It would be, yeah.
A little strange, but we'll start with that. I'm Colin Sherman. I'm the creative director for Best in Tabletop, and I'm also the founder and principal organizer of Charity Hammer. Welcome to my home. With me is John. Go ahead and introduce yourself, John.
I'm John. I'm one of the coaches at the Art of War 40K. I am here just helping out. I've been to Charity Hammer every year. It's a wonderful event, and I love being here to support Colin, help him with everything well and good in the world, and of course, supporting Child's Play.
That's right, which we'll talk about in just a moment. John is actually on every objective marker. That is why John is significant at Charity Hammer, because he's on all of the objective markers.
It's good to be the inspiration.
That's kind of a joke for the veteran fans. Yes. All right. So here's what the deal is. There's a charity called Child's Play. Child's Play is started by the Penny Arcade guys. They did that comic. They've done a comic strip for a long time about gaming. And Child's Play is basically, how do we get toys and video games and help with those things to children's hospitals? They do it. It's an incredible thing that they do, and we absolutely want to support them, and we do. They've actually added domestic abuse centers. There's a lot of background noise as we sit here, isn't there? They've added domestic abuse centers as something that they're helping as well. So they're just a fantastic charity, and we are going to give every single dollar we raise to them. Not a single dollar will go to us, to the food, to anything. That's part of the way that Charity Hammer works. So here's what we're asking of you. You get to watch all of this for free. It's going to be basically 4 streams. There's the stream that you're watching right now, which covers everything. Then there's 3 individual streams that may not go live just yet. We'll talk about that in a moment. So you get to watch all that for free. It's also all going to be online, so you can watch it later if you want. What we ask is that you donate. So we have a link. It's on charityhammer.com. I'm sure that link will be showing up in the chat throughout the weekend as well. And you can just donate as much as you're comfortable donating. We ask that you find it in your heart to help us out. Every $30 you donate gets you a raffle ticket. And I was going to give something away right now, but in the chaos of everything for the last 24 hours, I am actually not ready to do that. So at the start of the next game at 9 o'clock, I will give away a Beast Snega box. Ooh, I think that's a good prize.
Awesome, yeah. And
then later in the weekend, we will give away a crazy amount of stuff. It's a list of like 40 different boxes of 40K stuff. We're also going to give away a month-long free Art of War War Room subscription during each time slot, and you can win that and another prize. We're just going to do that's like a bonus raffle that we're doing. The 2 grand prizes we'll do at the end. One of them is $1,200 gift certificate to Hammerhead Games. So you can buy whatever you want. You could buy 40K from them. You could buy Marvel Crisis Protocol. You could buy Magic the Gathering. Whatever you want to get from them, you can order it up and have it shipped to you. The other grand prize, we have 2 grand prizes. The other grand prize is that Sean Naden, you'll send him an army, he'll paint it and send it back to you. Now, what do you think of Sean Naden's painting, John?
There's a reason I never get best overall, and one of them is Sean Naden.
Yes. I think he's gotten best overall at LVO like
twice in a row, I believe.
All of the times? Like at least twice in a row.
The last 2, I believe.
Yeah, at least twice in a row. So that's a hell of a prize. Now, the way we do the grand prizes is we draw them at the end, but if you've already won another prize, you could trade that out for the grand prize so that winning early doesn't mean that you can't win the grand prize. So everybody donate now, right now, because like minutes from now, we're going to start giving stuff away, and we're going to give stuff away in every single time slot for the entire weekend. So if you donate now, you will have better chances to win than if you donate later.
Yes.
That's the sort of strategy tip that you can look forward to from this weekend. All right. So the way the streams are going to work, this stream that you're watching now is going to be interviews and commentary and such with people like John and myself in between the games. And then we're going to have commentary through the whole thing that's going to bounce around between all of the tables that are active. Starting this morning, in the hour from now when we start, is going to be Adam Camilleri doing that commentary. But we're also going to have Scary and Dustin Henshaw, who I've heard is great at commentary. I haven't heard him, but I know Dustin's an amazing human. We're going to have all types of people. I don't think I'm going to be able to remember the whole list, but lots of guests will be coming in to do commentary over the next 4 days. So, if you don't want to watch the commentary and you're one of those people that says, what I really want to hear is the players talk, which there's a number of people that feel that way. There are individual streams for that. Those individual streams aren't live quite yet, so this morning we may not have those going, but for the GT and everything else the rest of the weekend, we will have those going, and you can click in on them and you can watch them. So that is how this is all going to work. You're going to donate. If you haven't already, you should donate right now. So go do that. If you can't donate, they can also help out. They can tell people about it.
That's what they can do.
Post us on Facebook, comment on us, shoot us out to your Twitter people, whatever you do to contact your peeps. However your 40K community talks, tell them that this is happening, get them to watch, have them help support us. All right, so here's what I think is really funny.
Yes.
Timing-wise, this is almost perfect.
You chose perfectly.
Almost.
Just so close.
If it had been next week,
it would have been even better.
I think it would have been better. So we actually don't have lists done at all.
Nope.
Because you may not know this, but some changes have happened to the game.
This morning. Yesterday.
And the day before.
Yeah, on Saturday. There's so many coming in.
So this morning's event, the Bad RTT, which we'll talk about in just a second, it's going to use old rules. That's our palette cleanser.
Yep.
While that's happening, we are reconfiguring all of Charity Hammer. From the moment that Bad RTT is over, everything is new. Yep. New points, new data slate, new missions. You're wondering how the meta's going to look? Well, I got to tell you, we got about 200 and something hours of 40K using new rules. Start with some pretty amazing players. It's like literally about to start. So, what do you think in general of all those changes?
Oh man, I think we're in a whole new game. I mean, I've heard some jokes that GW released 10th edition this morning.
Yeah.
It feels like we've got.
I was calling it 9.5, which I think is fine too.
I think 9.5 is what we're gonna call it because this feels like the biggest shift we've had since the edition started.
I agree.
I'm super excited for this. I think the meta is going to get flipped on its head and be very exciting because now it feels like there's a lot of armies that feel roughly equal. Yeah. There's a lot of armies that feel like they just got reinvigorated.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of depth to explore. There's going to be so much happening, so much going on, and so much excitement and passion for all of these armies that have maybe felt a little listless for a while. And just about all of them that are Chaos
think
Demons,
I know what's good.
That's the thing. I know one thing that is good.
Sisters?
Yes, I think sisters are good. And beyond that, like I could not tell you 4 of the top 5 right now.
Yeah. So sisters were great already.
Yeah.
You already felt like they had because of Armor of Contempt that they were doing really well, and then their points went down.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty good.
Sisters, I thought were the best army that didn't get nerfed, and then they got better.
So
I feel like I know where they stand.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about the data slate that just came out this morning, but let's talk about the winners from the data slate real quick.
100%.
So orcs.
Oh, orcs are so exciting.
So WOG is better.
So
will either of us remember exactly what it does? Let's see if John
100%
does.
100% I do.
Oh, okay.
So WOG changed, not speed WOG, only WOG, the combat punchy one changed.
Good.
And it's the exact same as before with 2 additions.
Yes.
So whenever you have that +1 attack active, which is the first and second round of combat, first the round you call it, and then the next round.
Yes.
You get +1 strength as well.
Yep.
And also you get a 5-up invuln army-wide on the turn you call WOG, and a 6-up invuln the turn after you call WOG.
Which is so great.
Yeah. They also put some little stealth buffs in there where you no longer are limited to 1 of each buggy unit, but 3 buggies of each type total. So you can do 3 singles instead of having to do 1 unit of 3 if you want.
Well, that's just better.
It's just better. You're still not going to take 9. So if you 3D printed 9, sorry, that investment's not coming back. Yeah. But 3 of each buggy is now a little more spreadable.
I think that's interesting because in 8th edition, it felt like a big part of orcs was the mech custom force fields. Yeah. And giving everybody, and they don't really do that now. Like orc players don't really do that. So like nothing has an invul. Yep. So giving it an invul, is it only an invul in combat or is it? Oh, it's just an invul.
Yeah, just an invul. As far as I can tell, it is just an invulnerable save.
That's great. And then what about guard?
Guard gained Armor of Contempt to all of their vehicles,
which is so fun.
Is good. I'm glad they didn't give it to the infantry.
Yes.
Just wouldn't have felt right.
It's silly.
It's really interesting on vehicles, especially 2-up armor save Lehman Russ.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Lehman Russ is quite durable for the points.
Yeah.
Like that is a lot of wounds at a 2-up save.
Yeah, that's true. So if you shot really heavy shooting at it, like if you shot some AP4, it's still getting a 5-up save. Yeah, which is, I was always annoyed that they don't have an invul.
Yes.
Like I always felt like a Lehman Russ, being the iconic durable tank, should have an invul because of the way the game's designed. But it doesn't feel right for it to have an invul. Yep. It's much better for it to just be strong.
Yeah, when someone finds AP6, they'll deserve it. But other than that, those Russ are getting a save.
There's got to be something out there with AP6.
I'm sure there's a volcano land somewhere.
Some ridiculous AP. All right, so let's see. Those are 2 of the big winners. Oh, and let's talk Necrons.
Oh, Necrons. Necron players, I always hear that they're waiting.
Yes.
They've been waiting for 10,000 years. They can wait another one.
Yeah.
They've been waiting for right now.
Their points went down.
Their points went down yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah, talk about big changes, right? We haven't even talked about yesterday's point changes. Not only did their points go down, but also they reworked command protocols.
Yeah.
So now when you pick 5 command protocols, there's one that's left out. And the one that's left out, instead of not being used for the game, is active for all 5 turns. So instead of you leave the worst one at home, you take the best one and stick it to the side, and that one is all 5 turns. And then the rest of it just gets distributed normal. They also made it easier to get. It's no longer off of Necron nobles, it's off of Necron characters. So you get to keep your protocols a lot longer. It's not like you have to build your list a certain way. And then just to make sure that we got the message, they added core to all Necron vehicles. And the ramifications for that are probably developing as we speak. Yeah. But it's just every vehicle's core.
The Silent King is a vehicle.
The Silent King is a vehicle.
Yes.
So
tell them about the Minear thing, because that amuses me.
Oh my goodness. So I think it's Rites of Reanimation lets you pick up 1 core model in a unit in nearby. So you can just pick up a Minear now.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know how that's going to interact, because as soon as the Silent King's wounded, you have to allocate to him. But then if there's a Minear there, you have to allocate to the Minear. And that's going to be a mess, but we're going to have to figure that one out later. But for now, it's a huge buff for Necrons. I think it's taking them all the way from the bottom to very near the top.
Here's something funny about that. That helps it charge.
It does.
That helps the Silent King make charges.
100% does.
The Silent King is not quite fast enough.
No.
But if you can bring him a near back, that's getting you probably 4 inches of movement.
It's not like he doesn't reroll wounds in combat now, because he does. That's gonna add up.
Oh man. Okay, so we were pretty sure that Hail was gonna go all consuming.
It did.
Hail went all consuming. Eldritch Storm got nerfed. It's maximum one additional Farseer now,
I
basically.
think so. Yeah, it's only one action matters.
Yeah. Now the big thing for Eldar, I thought, was the battle focus change. Is the battle focus strat? First of all, fire and fade once a game.
Yep.
Try not to overreact. We don't have any CP anymore. So like that's
okay.
And I already wasn't really fire and fading, and they made vectored engines 20 points. So they want Eldar to participate in the game. They don't want him to just hide.
All I've ever wanted, Colin.
I know it's what Eldar want to do is not involved and be involved in the game. And then so for the battle focus thing, they said instead of just battle focusing 6, it's a reroll to battle focus.
Yeah, that stratagem is now a reroll, which is nice because it is done afterwards.
Yes, it's worse because it's not a 6. But it's better because you don't, like, regularly there's a time in a game where I'm 3 inches from cover and I'm about to roll a battle focus and I'm deciding, do I do the 6 here and use the CP, or do I gamble that I can roll a 3 up? And it gives you that ability to say, okay, well, we'll reroll. Clearly a nerf, but not an entire nerf. It does change how it's used.
Definitely impactful.
Yeah.
But it's not going to just completely remove. It's not you don't use the stratagem.
Right,
it's
exactly.
Still a stratagem for 1 CP that you will use frequently.
Right.
So.
I don't think there was anything else for Eldar.
No, I think that was it. No changes. To
I thought Banshees. I thought Hawks would change. Yeah,
I did as well, but they did go up a little more than other units.
That's true.
And they also get indirectly nerfed by Hail of Doom being all consuming because they don't benefit from Hail of Doom. So now they don't get the second trait that would have gone with it.
And To the Last is gone, which is a big part of why they exist. So
that is absolutely true.
And then we're not sure about Ad Mech. They had 5. They had 5 things in the data slate before, and now they have 2.
I figured it out.
Okay, good. Go for it.
So 2 of their stratagems that were once per game, which was their Fearless on an objective, and their put Sicarans in reserves. Both of those are no longer once per game.
Okay.
Their stratagem for enriched rounds, which is the Ranger one where they go to heavy 2 to heavy 3 on their guns.
Okay.
Was that change was removed, so it goes back to the printing of change from heavy 2 to rapid fire 2.
Okay.
Which not only ignores the heavy penalty, but is also really good when they get close.
Nice.
Then their chickens, they got core back.
Okay.
So that removal was removed, so they just have core again by default. And then finally that stratagem with Vanguard to do a 5 up to hit does a wound. The CP cost of it was changed from 1/2, depending on size, to 1.
Yeah.
Still only a 5+, it's not the 4+ that was printed, because but it is now only 1 CP regardless of the unit size.
I feel like almost every stratagem should be 1 CP now. If they're going to start us with like 2,
a lot of them.
Yeah, I think that having stratagems that are 2 and 3 CP is kind of silly at this point.
Yeah, the 3 CP strats that we were like, we're never going to use that, but I'll remember I have it. That's what a 2 CP strat is now. 3 CP does not exist.
I think Orbital Bombardment's 3 CP, I think.
Yeah, it's honestly, I wouldn't have spent 1 CP on it.
Yeah.
Not spent a 3.
Vect used to be 3 CP. I'm trying to think of what else is 3 CP. I don't know. Not very many things.
Not many.
Yeah.
There's a couple weird ones.
All right, who'd we forget?
Tyranids.
Oh yeah, Tyranids. Go for it.
Forget Tyranids.
Well,
Colin.
They're so good. Let's talk about their 4th nerf, or however many nerfs this is.
They did. So they had some changes to how synaptic imperatives work, and how their warlord works. So first of all, if you take a Hive Tyrant, it has to be your warlord. Second off, the synaptic imperative that you get each battle round, you only get to choose one if your warlord is alive.
Okay.
So your warlord has to be a Hive Tyrant if you've got one, and then if you lose that Hive Tyrant, you no longer will get imperatives for the rest of the game.
When you told me that before we started, it didn't hit me that everybody plays the ridiculous close combat tyrant that actually can die.
That can absolutely die.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's a big deal.
It is a very big deal. And then the one thing on top of that is that your adaptive trait, that little thing that Tyranid players do to choose the second half of their trait after you roll for the first turn, that now has to be marked on your list.
Yep.
So, High Fleet Kraken is still a little more flexible than like Order Bloody Rose because you can choose half of it, but it's chosen in list design now. It's no longer an at-the-table adaptation.
How big of a deal is that in practice? How often do you change up what you're taking?
Very frequently.
Okay.
So now no longer.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take the same thing every time, of course. But I think that one will be reasonably impactful. Because there were a couple of matchups where it mattered a lot to change what you were doing.
All right.
That's
okay. Did we forget anyone?
Almost certainly yes.
Yes. Sorry if we forgot your faction.
Yeah. It's coming to mind right now. There's a lot of changes in here right now.
Who else got nerfed? I think that's all the big.
Harlequins.
Oh yeah, Harlequins. Harlequins got nerfed reasonably.
It makes sense why they didn't go up in points.
Yeah.
Because other things were coming.
Yes, exactly right. So
Yeah.
So the light thing is 18 inches instead of 12.
Exactly. So if you want to get that trans hitman roll, you now have to be further away, which is good. It makes it easier to engage with them.
I don't value that trans hitman roll.
It's
I've played a bunch of Harlequins, and I just, like, you're -1 to be hit already. So few people care about it being about the trans hitman, but fine, it's worse.
And then Dark Harlequins no longer fight on death.
Yes.
Instead, when they die on a 4+, they deal a mortal.
Right.
So it's now half a mortal each time you kill a troop, rather than 4 attacks each time you kill a
I
troop.
feel like that pushes people pretty hard to light, even with light being
I
nerfed.
fully agree. The final change that they made was that you no longer get 2 free luck dice at the start of the turn.
Ugh.
You now only get what you roll. So it's 0 plus whatever you roll.
Yeah.
So if you roll 2 and you don't roll doubles, you just get 2 luck dice. Which means it's going to be a lot more difficult to manage them.
Yeah.
In the turns where you roll that double, you don't have a luck dice.
Man.
That's it. That is very impactful.
I actually don't like that change.
I honestly would have been okay with them going lower, like 1 and 3,
Yeah.
but not. I agree that might have been a little much.
I don't feel like, and Harlequins are too good, so fine that they got nerfed, but I just feel like that's like their coolest thing, right?
To me, that means that you're no longer going to take pure Harlequins because the buff is no longer impactful.
Right.
There's if you only go by the logic of you take 2 luck dice at most, like you only roll 2 because then you have the least chance of rolling doubles.
Okay.
That means that 1/6 of the time you don't get a pure buff.
All right.
So.
Fair enough. All right. So before we let John go get ready for his game, we have 2 more things we're going to talk to John about.
Yes.
First of all, will you tell them about Art of War, please? Because Art of War is a platinum sponsor of Charity Hammer. And as part of that, he gets to tell you about Art of War. So tell him about Art of War.
That's what I want to do.
Okay.
So Art of War 40K is a coaching and content creation service. You
True.
can find us on YouTube and on our website, theartofwar40k.com. We put out a ton of free content on YouTube. We stream games every week. We have, explanations. We have tier lists. We have review videos, hot takes on new content. We do everything. We get content early so that we can make videos right when it comes out. So that means that with Chaos Space Marines coming out very soon, we'll have a lot of content coming up for that release. As well, we are a coaching service and a podcast platform. So you can find our coaching service both on YouTube and on our website. Again, that's theartofwar40k.com. And there we have a global community called The Worm, where we get players from around the world who all have a common interest, getting better at the game that they enjoy. So we try to foster a wonderful, fantastic community that prioritizes good sportsmanship and good play, trying to make the game enjoyable for everyone and helping people get better at the game that you enjoy. There's top coaches and top players from all around the world, like myself, Richard Siegler, Nick Donavati, Jack Harpster, Brad Chester, Ridvan Martinez, so many more, some more that are going to be here as well. And you have the best players in the world here to teach you about the game that you love, and again, to help foster that global community. So we've got a wonderfully active Discord. We do personal coaching. You can get lists and call services from us. You can find all of that and our various podcasts on our website or our YouTube channel.
I was coaching client number 2.
Number 2.
I was.
Number 1 in our hearts, Colin.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Art of War was key. It was not called Art of War at the time, but Art of War was key in my growth as a 40K player. Nick in particular helped me learn basically how to go from Math Hammer guard to beating people with Double Kraken, Gene Stealer, 8th edition, Jank.
Quite the skill-based army.
Running, yes, very skill-based army. I went 3-2 at a fairly phenomenal number of tournaments trying to figure out how 40K works before that really sunk in. But yes, cool. So we'll talk about the rest of the sponsors in just a moment. Next up, what we're doing is called the Bad RTT, and it's going to be on streams 1 and 2. Before we talk about that, on stream 3, we will have Outward Realms being played. Outward Realms is one of our top sponsors. Outward Realms is a fantastic game made by the wonderful, the charming Michael Timpey. Outward Realms is a kind of platoon-sized sci-fi tabletop game with alternating activations, gorgeous models. He had a fantastic Kickstarter last year. It's really big kicking off. He has expansions planned, and we love that game. And so what we've done is we've taken some really high-quality 40K players and we've taught them how to play, and they'll be playing Outward Realms on one of our streams for the next 3 games. I believe that's going to be on the Outward Realms YouTube because our YouTube is not quite live yet. Okay, there's a nod happening from behind the camera. That is what's going on. So that link will be up and you guys can go watch the next 9 hours of Outward Realms, including Chuck Arnett from Best in Tabletop, Tyler Bortel from Best in Tabletop or Best in Faction, The Next Generation, Mitchell Hunter, probably one of the best Custodes players in the world. There's no Custodes in Outward Realm, so I don't think that will help him, but I just felt like saying it. And and Josh Schutz, who is the guy who does Joelhammer, which is another charity event, and I just learned today is modeled off of us, and I didn't actually know that. So Joel was one of those situations where he came. So people that I've not met come to Charity Hammer, and he arrived, and we discovered that not only is he the youngest person here, which was Tyler and Lucas last year,
Yes.
but in addition to that, he has been listening to Best in Faction since he was 14 years old.
Yep.
And I said, great, wonderful. That doesn't make me feel old at all. Nothing about that makes me feel old.
Nothing at all? A little 14-year-old Josh listening to the show?
Yeah, and he's like, it's like I'm coming to see my heroes, and I'm like, oh man, you need better heroes. But that's okay. So that's going to be going on the third stream. On the first two streams for the next 9 hours is the Bad RTT. Here's how the Bad RTT works. We had really good 40K players, including Mr. John Lennon right here. We had them create terrible 40K lists by the old rules. Really bad ones. Everyone except Sean did a good job of this. So we have these terrible lists. We've taken them and we've handed them out to other people to play. The bad lists award has already been given out. You'll hear about that at the end. We already have decided who wrote the worst list. It was not John. He tried.
I tried.
He didn't actually follow instructions, though, or he would have done better.
Possibly, yes.
So John created a terrible Sisters army that Mitch is playing. But what's happening right now at 9 o'clock is that John is playing a guard list.
That is true.
And it has 27 Ogren.
People aren't ready.
Ogren. With the Ripper guns. Dagga, dagga, dagga. They're Assault 3. No, they're Heavy 3?
Assault 3.
Assault 3, Strength 5, AP 0. Mm-hmm. And the best part about them is their 12-inch range.
That is my favorite part. It means I can advance and shoot them. That's all I wanted.
On a guy that moves 5?
Well, I need to advance, yeah.
Yes, you're going to need to advance. So, but they're going to be -1 to hit after they advance, are they not?
That's fine.
Okay.
Only
all
once.
Right. He also has 30 Ratlings. What, you have some excitement for playing with 30 Ratlings?
I actually have some excitement for playing Ratlings.
Yeah. That list also has Hydras, 2 of them. Mm-hmm. Maybe one of the worst vehicles in the entire game.
It's up there.
Maybe, yeah.
It's up there.
And what else you got? You got Gaunt's Ghost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I think there was a number of Psychers. Am I correct?
Yes, there's like 18 Weird Vein Psychers in that list.
They're not ready.
No, they're not ready at all. So John's going to be playing that into Noah, who is playing basically Ultramarines in cars getting coffee. Ultramarines in Impulsors with Thunderhammers.
Oh, with Thunder. That's actually, the Thunderhammers will be the problem here.
Well, only the Sergeant has a Thunderhammer.
That will still be a problem.
I think it's like 6 5-man Intercessor units and 5 Impulsors.
That's good for 2 Ogrins each.
Yeah. But Tiggy is on the list, which does make me happy because he's like the worst Psyker in their book.
Oh, I really like Psychic Race, actually.
No, well, everybody keeps telling me that he's not good anymore. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not an Ultramarines expert despite having a GT win with Ultramarines. That's your fault. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
So that's happening on one of the streams, and Adam Camilleri will be commentating that for you guys. And then the other game, I don't know who is.
Oh, would you like me to find out for you?
Yes, that'd be great. While John is figuring out what the other game is, because we're unprepared this morning, if you guys are wondering, this Charity Hammer is different than most, because normally we have 0 drops as we prepare. There has been a bit of a COVID situation in the Pacific Northwest. And we are down, and it's not all of these people that are not here, it's not because of COVID. We had some other stuff as well. But of the 36 people involved at Charity Hammer, 9 of them have dropped in the past 48 hours. So if we seem like we're building the airplane in flight, that is very much what's happening. We are doing our best here. We got people that are going to be very tired because we do not have the appropriate number of people here anymore. But it's still going to be amazing.
It is
it's still going to be amazing. It's always amazing. Mm-hmm. It's always amazing. Who is playing?
Hank and Fred.
All right, Hank is playing Eldar. Now, Hank was supposed to play the Eldar list that Sean Naden wrote for him. There was 6 Phoenix Lords and then 1 of each Aspect Warrior unit. And unfortunately, when we talked about that, we realized that list is entirely too good and was going to wreck everyone. The 6 Phoenix Lords alone in this particular tournament are rough.
Yeah, I don't think I could beat 6 Phoenix Lords with those guardsmen.
Right. So what we did is we took the Aspect Warriors out and put in as many Wraithblades as we could. Excellent. So now the list is 6 Phoenix Lords and 1,000,000 Wraithblades. So the list has like no shooting, hardly at all. I mean, like Balrog's going to be like, Deka Deka, okay, I shot.
I'm sure Fugan has a gun.
Fugan's got a great gun.
Excellent.
He's got a melt-a-gun that draws a line and hits everybody along the way.
Oh, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Well, you're not playing him. So, and who's he playing against, did you say?
Fred Foreman.
Ah, yes. And Fred is playing I believe Fred is playing I've brought 50 intercessors and nothing else. Crimson Fist list.
Does he have Pedro Cantor?
He does not have Pedro
That's
Cantor.
True, that would have been too good. You're right.
And everybody keeps saying that. But the guy that's the hardcore Crimson Fist player did not put Pedro in it. So maybe because he's too good.
It would have been too good. He's the best part of Crimson Fist.
Now, he's the guy that plays the Mandalorian, right? Pedro Cantor?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
I met him once at Comic-Con.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was he everything you'd hope he would be?
I mean, for 3 seconds in a picture, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. The only celebrity picture I have is Penn Jillette. It's the only celebrity picture I have from Penn and Teller. Okay. And what's funny about that is that he is like my size. So like I have this picture with this celebrity that happens to be bigger than me. I suspect if I took a picture with the Mandalorian guy, he would be very small compared to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. Let's talk about the rest of our sponsors, and then we'll let John go get ready. Actually, we're going to let John go get ready because his army's not put together. So John's going to go get ready for this game at 9, where he's going to have to beat. What is he beating again?
Oh, I'm going to be beating up on. It's not the intercessors. It was the intercessors.
It's that right. Ultramarines. Ultramarines and cars getting coffee. Yes. All right, Billy, come talk about sponsors with me. Everybody meet Best in Tabletop's Billy Heilman.
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Who I sometimes affectionately call the Hogfather, because he has a pet pig.
Yes.
Who's very cute.
She is.
Which we'll share pictures of later.
Happy to do so.
Yeah, she has an Instagram. She's a famous pig.
She is a famous pig. She's a therapy pig, so.
Is she a therapy pig?
Yeah, certified through SFSPC and everything. That's why she's famous.
Okay, we're not doing anything else but talking about that. What is happening here? You can certify a pig to be.
So Lilu the pig, if you search her on Instagram, you will find her. She is very cute. She is certified through San Francisco SPCA.
Okay.
And is a therapy animal.
Okay.
San Francisco Airport does a program called the WAG Brigade, where they bring mostly dogs, but also miniature horses in some cases, and Lilu the pig to the airport to calm travelers. This is the perfect 90-second end of news spot, like just little news segment. And my wife, who takes her to the airport, was on the news, and it then went all over the world. So Lilu the pig is an internationally famous porcine child. Yeah.
What I think is most interesting about you having a pig, other than the fact that my wife wants a pig now because of you, and you've said don't do that.
It's a lot of work.
And we already have 3 kids and 3 dogs.
Yeah.
That's why it's not a good idea for us.
Yeah.
But what I think is really interesting about this is you said that almost all of the sayings about pigs are true.
They are. They are pig-headed. They eat like a pig.
You showed me the pig in a blanket, and she did look very happy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about our sponsors now. Are you a fan of the Army Painter?
I am a fan of the Army.
Yeah, they're fantastic. The Army Painter has sponsored us every year. They've given us a bunch of stuff to give away. We'll be giving away, I believe they have a new thing called a speed paint box set. That's like this big hefty thing. Yeah. We're going to give away like 3 of those, I think. So I think that's like $100 and something box set. So that's cool. They're fantastic. Also, when we started doing this, like no one was doing competitive 40K streaming. There was not a lot of it. And the people that have taken that since then and run with it are really Play on Tabletop, sponsor of Charity Hammer, Art of War, sponsor of Charity Hammer, and of course, Tabletop Titans. Tabletop Titans has sponsored several of our meals for Charity Hammer. They were not able to be here this year because of scheduling, but we love them. They're amazing. If you've not watched Tabletop Titans content, the production quality is stupid.
Yeah, and also great guys.
They're in your area, right? Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I think it's mostly Bridger and Adrian these days, right? Because Brian's moved away, and I'm probably forgetting someone, but I know Bridger and I know Adrian. I don't know who else.
They're the 2 main guys that I know through it. And
yeah. Okay. So that's, let's see, who else we got? We already talked about the amazing Hammerhead games. We talked about Outward Realms. 3D6 Wargaming.
I love everything that they do. They're John Lennon Charity Hammer. He is my objective marker of choice.
Yeah. So did you guys know that objective tokens is stupid? Like having to measure within 3 inches of an objective token is dumb.
Yes.
No one should be doing that. You should use objective markers from 3D6 Wargaming. And you should buy Charity Hammer ones. Every year after Charity Hammer is over, the objective markers go live and you can buy them. This year's objective marker is a John Lennon as a Sister of Battle shooting a hot sauce flamer at Jaime, who has a shelf, for those that have been following Charity Hammer lore. He has a shelf that he is defending with, and he is dressed as a space wolf.
Yeah, it's sweet. I've seen it.
You will see it on all of our tables. They are absolutely the objective markers that are being used. I want to say a special affection is not English. But
it is a grammatically correct sentence.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just idiomatically weird.
Okay. Well, that's if anything, I am idiomatically weird, if anything. 36 Wargaming reached out to me 2 Charity Hammers ago and said, do you want objective markers? And since then has done them for free for us each year. And I often give them no time, like no warning, and they get them to us anyway. So thank you so much to 36wargaming.net. Please go check out all their stuff. It's all amazing. They also sell things that you can put over your mat to make it appropriately sized for 40K.
Yeah, those are nice.
Which is also great. All right, 36 Wargaming, Tabletop Titans. Dark Tower Games, a huge number of their people are here helping out. They also donated a $200 gift certificate we'll be giving away to the people, one of the people that filled out our community survey.
Oh, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
And starting tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the community survey at length. Okay. If you want to know who people in the world think is the worst meta, we're going to tell you. If you want to know which faction has the worst models, we're going to tell you that. If you want to know which faction has the most annoying players, we're going to tell you that as well. We're going to share all this with you because 300 people filled out a survey for us. And if 300 people doesn't sound significant to you, it's 300 people that go to tournaments. So it's like, it's not like there were 50,000 people I was drawing from.
But that actually, my understanding is this is sufficient for statistically significant data to be drawn from it. 300. I'm getting nods from someone I trust. Yeah.
Yes.
This is actual real data. That's amazing.
Real data. So Dark Tower, thank you so much. All right. So Bad RTT is going to be next. Then what's going to happen after that's done is all 3 streams are just going to be 40K games from 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, midnight. One of the things that'll be fun is I believe it's at 9 o'clock today. Last weekend, you guys probably might have watched on War Games Live that we had the Best in Tabletop Open, our first ever Best in Tabletop event. And the final of that was 2 Tyranid players. It was Tyler Bortel and Steve Trimble playing each other.
No, it was Trimble played Lucas.
Thank you. I completely tripped myself up there.
They just both won their games.
Yeah, so Trimble won and Tyler won, but they didn't get to play each other because we didn't have enough rounds. Well, they're playing each other today.
Oh, fun.
So we will find out who actually won that event.
There you go.
This evening. Then tomorrow morning, we'll kick off the GT. Now, because of our drops, we've changed the way we do the GT. Normally, what we did in the past is we did a challenge bracket, and it was 32 people, and it was single elimination. But there were a couple problems with that. One is if someone dropped, it was a real problem for me. And the other thing is that 16 people lost that first round and then didn't have more games in the GT. Excuse me. So what we've done is we've created pods. Now, the pods, as of a couple of days ago, were 4 pods of 6. They're certainly not anymore. But we're going to have 4 pods of players. And those pods are going to play RTTs against each other. And we're going to put about 2/3 of those games on stream. So you're going to get to see a bunch of, and we're going to do it by variety. Because everything's represented, I think, except for Necrons. But I'm going to see if I can't get Necrons represented.
There are good Necron players here.
There are, but I don't know if there's actually Necron models here. We didn't know that Necron. This is what I said a week from now would have been better. We didn't know what was going to be good, and so we're preparing. But we're going to try to get some variety, so you guys can, as you watch over tomorrow, you're going to get to see everything play into each other. All the different stuff is going to be going. We will get someone to play guard. There is guard here. Someone will play guard. Okay. So, maybe someone will play guard, but I'm going to try. Okay. So that's going to start tomorrow. Then on Saturday, we'll take the top 2 of each bracket, of each of those 4 pods, and we'll seed them, and then we'll do a top 8 single elimination. It'll start Saturday night, and then on Sunday, we have long 4-hour time slots where we will do the finals. We will have it out. We will see who's going to win. And we will have the first ever 9.5 GT winner. There might be other GTs this weekend using all the new rules, but I bet there's not.
No, they generally list like if you want to see what the new meta looks like, Charity Hammer is going to be amazing for it.
Right here.
Yeah.
And then also remember, we're going to interrupt the games and come here, and in between the games, we're going to come here and we're going to interview people.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the game. We have Michael Tempe of the Necrons here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So we will have Michael come talk Necrons. We have guard players here. We have all of the stuff. So we will give you guys the straight skinny, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
The hot take.
Yes.
The soft download. No, that's not. The rigid download? No, that's not good either.
I'm going to just let you keep digging that hole. And,
There's no hole here. I'm just
okay.
enjoying myself. My shirt promises
That's
bad
fair.
jokes.
It's fair. And
It promises bad jokes.
it's
So
only a pig dad. I just don't have that same talent.
no,
No, it doesn't. It's not manifested as jokes.
but you guys probably often go hog wild.
Yes, yes.
What is hog wild like for the pig?
So pigs do zoomies.
Oh,
And again, I have.
okay. Does the pig knock things over when she zoomies, or is she careful?
No, she's pretty careful. So pigs are prey animals as opposed to predators,
Okay.
and so all of their instincts are around please don't hurt me.
Okay.
But she's also 130 pounds in a small package, and I live in an apartment, and so it becomes interesting.
Okay. But she's good about not running into things.
Yeah, she's very good, actually.
I know when the Mythbusters did Bull in a China shop, that the bull had no interest in knocking over the shelves.
No, they're delicate beings. They don't know that they have health care available to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to get hurt and die.
I don't want to be injured. As someone with a 110-pound lab, he does not share this proclivity.
That's fair.
But he's a predator animal.
Right. And
Right?
That's the thing.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we have just about 9 minutes left before we are going to it looks like is it helpful if we go dark for 10 minutes before we Okay. We're going to go dark for 10 minutes because all of our tech is not ready. But if you guys will stay put, and please do, get yourself some coffee. It's early in some places. Get a snack. Order up DoorDash. Get like 5 gallons of ice cream. Just sit and eat ice cream.
The other thing they could do?
What?
Donate to Charity Hammer.
They could donate to Charity Hammer. And we'll be back shortly with the first round of the Bad List RTT. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Charity Hammer is already going. Let's roll.
Oh my lord. Everybody be seated, be standing, whatever you may be. It's Charity Hammer the Fourth. My name is Adam Camilleri, and my absolute pleasure and honor to be bringing you the beginning of this magnificent freaking event. I'm joined by the incomparable and amazing Seth Oster. Hello, my dude.
How you doing, Adam? Pleasure to be here.
I am very happy, very, very, very happy to be here. I was hoping to be here in person, as I think you were as well.
Yep.
Things are what they are, and here we are. We are still here, still present, and we're commentating on the worst 40k RTT of all time, and I'm here for it in every way.
You know, I think this morning's very interesting because everyone, let's get the elephant out of the room. There has been a ton of updates to 40K in the last week. So I think this is really, we're kind of seeing the end of the edition, so to speak, or this version of the edition. So what better way to send it off than with the absolute worst junk we could put on a table?
This is pretty special. So there are now two flavors of Charity Hammer. There's the best players in the world playing the worst list that they can conjure, and then there's the best players in the world playing the best list they can conjure, which I think both should be rewarded and celebrated in equal fashion and equal energy. Despite that, though, like I woke up 20 minutes ago to a whole new landscape of 40k for us to unpack, and I think it's very ironic that we have the space to do so whilst looking at this magnificent display in front of us. Who have we got?
All right. Well, it looks like this game should be Noah Bedham. He's running Ultramarines with Impulsor Spam. And then we have the lovely John Lennon, who's being forced to run some sort of guard list that's running like 25 psychers or something obscene.
Yeah, boy. Yep. So these aren't. So Noah, I think Noah did write his list. Noah Bedome playing ultras. But I think the guard list was written by Mitch. Mitch Pelham submitted
it. Was definitely written by Mitch. So
yeah, because I know he sent it to me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make somebody else play this," and I'm just like, "You evil man." It's so funny. But if you were gonna write the worst list possible for one of your factions, what would you have been playing?
Oh, I did write the worst list possible for one of my factions. I did it for orcs, which actually, they didn't tell me who it was going to. They just said write a horrible orc list, which I did, and it's going to Sean Naden.
Wonderful.
So I blessed or cursed Sean with a orc list that is Goffs. Now they might have had to do some modifications to the list because I was the only one with all the models for that list, and I didn't make it to the event. But the original list was Mech Boss Buzzgob, which is a Forge World character. His whole shtick is he gives a Goth Walker basically +1 to hit. And then in that vein, I had 2 Grot tanks, or Grot Mega tanks, 3 Def Dreads with close combat weapons, a Orc Mega Dread with 2 close combat weapons, an Orc Mecha Dread with 2 guns, the kill cannons, 2 Gorkanauts, and a Morkanaut. So he had no OBSEC. He had
Wonderful.
1 infantry model, and the rest are vehicles.
You don't need it. OBSEC's overrated, guys. Didn't you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you kill your opponent, they can't be OBSEC. It looks like the players
so
right now are both pulling up their lists, trying to figure out what the crap am I doing. This is my favorite part.
Why am I here? What does this do? Yeah. I love that somebody has 6 painted impulses. My brain is already boggling that exists.
Yeah, I'm impressed that they had that on the table. You know, like you can see the guard stuff has some stuff that isn't quite painted yet because, folks were like, why do I have 24 weird vein psychers? I don't know.
Well, just running through that list, it's called the Elite of the Elite, and I can tell you it is the opposite of that. It's got a Vanguard attachment with a Primary Psyker, 3x9 Ogryn. So we're not Bulgrin, and Bulgrin aren't great. Ogryn, like the gun dudes.
You're a guard man at heart. What does the gun on the Ogryn do? I can't even remember.
If I remember right, it's strength 5. It's a heavy bolter, but with only 1 damage, I think. Let me double check.
That doesn't seem super great into the impulsors.
You are correct. It is not super great. Yes. No. It is so much worse than what I said. It's range 12
Oof.
Assault 3, Strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. Good
Yeah.
lord, is that shit.
Yeah. So what other ways does he have to deal with these impulsors? I assume there's bodies of some sort in the impulsors, which is good for the Marines.
Well, yeah, let me run through the rest of the horrible guard army. Got 10 rattlings, a single armored sentinel, a unit of 3 scout sentinels with multi-lasers, then a second vanguard, this one with gaunt ghosts, just to make sure you give up max assassinate. 3 astropaths, 3 units of 6 Weirvade Psychers, another 2 units of 3 Scout Sentinels, and a single Hydra. Sorry, 2 Hydras. So if it wasn't absolutely crap enough, I can tell you right now, this list is designed to give up a huge score on no prisoners, a huge score on assassinate, and a huge score on Abhor the Witch in addition. If you didn't quite catch that, this gives up nearly max Abhor the Witch as well.
And looks like Noah has gone for assassinate, no prisoners, and stranglehold. So he may have a psyker in his list if he kind of steered away from the Abhor the Witch.
I would have. So yeah, if I almost would have gone for I would have gone bring it down and Abhor. But I mean, there's kind of no bad choices here. Just do whatever you want. It's all crap.
As long as you're killing something, you're getting points.
Yeah. Did you manage to have the copy of the Ultramarines list, or you want me to run through it?
No, I haven't got a copy yet. I'm just up there. I think Mitch just sent it to me now.
Oh Lord, it is a sight to behold.
Yep. All right. So yeah, indeed, the is this Ultramarines or is this? Nope. I gotta. There's 2 Marine lists in here, and I gotta make sure I don't mix them up. Because God forbid you mix your Marines up.
Nah, yeah, the sky falls when you mix your Marines up. Didn't you know?
Yeah,
it's the worst. So this isn't the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines is just bad intercessor spam.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this is the
Imperial Fist.
Imperial Fists, but it's an Imperial Fist list with literally 0 guns that benefit from being Imperial Fists. If I remember correctly.
I am not seeing all these impulsors in that list. They may have had to do some hot swap lists.
In the Ultramarines list. So yeah, in the Imperial Fist list, yeah, that's because it's the opposite. It's the Ultramarines list. So apologies. So this is the Ultras. It's pretty much nothing but impulsors and 5 mans in the impulsors.
Formatted real special. Yeah. So it does have Tigurius. So that it is running a battalion with Tigurius. So couldn't take Abhor. He's got a chaplain. He's got a Primaris lieutenant. Okay, that sounds pretty good. He's got an apothecary. Who put an apothecary in a bad Marine list?
In a list with only impulses. I love that so much.
And it looks like 5 units of 6 units of intercessors, all with the auto bolt rifles and thunder hammers. So I believe that's 3 damage hammers. And what's the wound count on a Ogren?
3.
Oh, okay. And then a bunch of impulsors all running the Sky Talon array, which I know is basically good at shooting planes, but it is just a bunch of shots. Now, it doesn't look like he's going to have much in the way of range for dealing with armor. Oh, but he does pack. Nope, that's the sister list. I was like, 7 CP. I thought I saw the Vindicator Assassin in there. I was like, oh man, that'd be real good.
Would it?
In this list. But no, that's sisters.
It does have a surprisingly large amount of like 3 wound and nothings in Astropaths to hunt.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because I think this is going to be just a weight of dice. And looks like those Scout Sentinels got way up the field real early.
Yeah, I mean, you go get them killed immediately because this is bad. This is the worst ITT of all time. Why not?
Yep. I'm guessing John's got first turn here because he's doing some movement. But it looks like, impulsors have fly, so I don't know that those center...
Impulsors do not have fly anymore.
Oh, they don't?
They do not.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense, because I was going to say if they have fly, they just go over this terrain and push up the field, but now it looks like John's pretty effectively move blocked.
John's just like, you know what I need to do? Just kill you with multi-lasers. Just going to be a bad man with his multi-lasers. Let's do it.
And I see another cunning Art of War tactic here on display. It's called "You can't take the objective if you can't physically fit on it."
Exactly right. Yeah.
He's like, if you're going to give me this many Ogren bodies, I'm going to make sure you physically can't touch this objective.
If I was actually applying tactics and like nuance to this game, which I'm kind of not, I'd be of the opinion that John wants to force him out of the impulses early because he has no way to crack them. So he's saturating the objectives in order to be, well, you guys have to come out, and if you come out, at least I have a thing I can kill.
Because if he doesn't, he could just use those as bumper cars because guard don't
Yeah.
have any access to fall back and shoot or charge. So he bumper cars as a unit, so it can't do anything. And then the intercessors just go touch the objectives and are like, "Cool story, bro. These are ours now."
I just love this so much. He has like zero ability to kill a impulsor, let alone 6. It's so fucking funny.
Maybe mortal wounds. Like, do the weird veins have a good way to do a bunch of mortal wounds?
Theoretically, he can kill one impulsor a turn with mortal wounds. Theoretically,
More than enough. There's what, 5 turns of this game, 6 impulsors, easy. The rest of the army just shoots the 6th impulsor every turn and chips it away.
That's right. I mean, it's got a couple of autocannon shots from the Wyverns, but they're not good autocannon shots. Like they hit on 4s, wound on 4s, and he's got a 4-up save against them. Like it's just bad. Oh no, yes, they have 3 saves
Armor of
against my dude, what changed this morning in the world of 40k when we woke up?
Everything. So we all saw the points yesterday, and that significantly shook things up. We've seen all the previews at this point for Warzone Nephilim, but today they brought a number of changes. First and foremost, speaking of Armor of Contempt, they added, someone else gets this particular rule now, which is the Astra Militarum vehicles.
Yes, inexplicably.
Saving T8 and ignoring 1 AP, like those are going to be some spicy boys to take down, and guard tanks in volume become really scary, and it's just going to stretch your anti-tank firepower that much further.
Yeah, I think it is actually. Hopefully, this is enough between this and the secondaries to take them off the shelf to really give them some agency back in the game. So, in just touching on that, we just did that in very big, broad strokes. What are any other big key changes slap you in the face?
I mean, if we want to get right to it, my beloved orcs saw a little buff, but we'll hold on to that. Because we'll talk on that later. But a lot of things, they changed Hail of Doom. Everyone was expecting Hail of Doom to get some form of nerf. It got the all-consuming treatment. Basically, you can't take Hail of Doom and another custom set or custom craft world. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's enough. Basically they're losing ignore cover.
Yeah, exactly right. And with losing ignore cover, that means essentially the whole thing is only rend 1 or rend 2 if you're a Dire Avenger, which goes into Armor Contempt and in cover, which means it's rend 0. So literally, it's just whether or not the army rolls enough 6s, and I think with Doom it absolutely does roll enough 6s. I think it's on par with Ulthway now. I think you can make a case for Ulthway being as good as just Hail of Doom.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Hail.
Hail was definitely the
head shoulders above. Votes. Yeah.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see if that floats around. I personally don't want to see Hail floating around because it makes me sad.
It's a toxic. Yeah, it's toxic.
It make me real sad. It's just like, what if we had 1 billion bullets and you don't get saves? And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, exactly right. What? Okay. This game is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Has your visual?
You're also knocking models around constantly.
Yeah. It's. I can't believe this. Do you like this idea? This most ridiculous RTT?
Oh yeah, I love it. I've played in a few of them before. It makes for really fun games because it ends up being this weirdest scenarios where you're like, I just got to roll 2 saves on this random guy to live and win the game.
Yeah.
It forces so many weird interactions. It forces you to put models on the table that you've never messed with before. And it just like, no matter what, you're not like This isn't going to be a game where you're like, oh man, if I had just done this little tactic different turn one on a
Yeah.
one, it's just going to be a game of ridiculous dice rolls and strange combos that you've never seen before and funny stories, like a guardsman probably slapping an impulsor to death somehow because that was the only way you could kill an impulsor or something like that. So yeah, it turns into a bunch of goofy stories. So I love these kind of events. And plus you just get to see weird things like what if I piled 20 some Bulgrin or Ogren on an objective and said, "Come at me, bro."
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm here for it. I love the fact that we're making like best players out there play lists like this. It's like it's literally like taking a Ferrari and putting tractor wheels on it. It's fantastic.
Oh
I
yeah.
love the idea.
Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. So I always enjoy these. I think it's a good kind of icebreaker to just, let's all just screw around and throw some dice for a bit.
Yeah, ease us into the event. Do you have a little? I have a little spiel. I always have. This is like my third or fourth charity hammer. I have a little spiel about why I love Charity Hammer, why I love what it does, and why people should donate and give if they can. But do you have any anecdotes, anything you want to throw out from your experience?
Yeah, so I've watched for a few years. Last year was the first year I got to attend. Charity Hammer is just it's basically it's for a great cause. Let's not downplay that at all. Child's Play is a fantastic cause. If you've ever spent any time in a hospital, adult or child, you know that they can be quite lonesome and depressing. And particularly if you're a child and you maybe don't understand what's going on as well. I spent a fair amount of time in hospitals as a kid, and I can remember one of the things that that brought me the most joy when I was stuck in there dealing with multiple surgeries was when the nurse would bring me the original brick Game Boy with Tetris on it.
Yeah,
So just kind of being able to give those kids that are stuck in that situation just a good mental break from what they're dealing with is huge to me. So it's a fantastic charity. I think last year one of the things that really kind of sold me on the charity was they had been providing these games and toys to hospitals, but we all know hospitals can be very busy and the staff can get overwhelmed, particularly with the last few years. And
yeah,
so they were sending all these video games to hospitals, and the nurses had no ideas how to hook them up and how to show the kids to play the games.
yeah,
And when Child's Play heard that their equipment wasn't being utilized as well as it could be, they started paying for staff members to go into the hospitals and help kids get these systems set up, help them play the games, and basically helping the kids have some fun. So they actually provided full-time staff to these hospitals, which to me just takes the burden off the medical staff so they can spend more time doing their job in trying to work on the medicine side of things, while these individuals help the kids try to pass the time in a more relaxing manner. So I work in the medical field, so to me that was huge, knowing that the charity was looking at this at all levels. This year they've also added domestic abuse shelters. I've had unfortunately some issues with that myself in the past. So knowing that they're providing these spaces that are already a safe space for these individuals and these children that are trying to escape a bad situation, as well as providing them again that mental break from what's happening around them. And we all, in some form or fashion, have taken mental breaks from bad things in life, usually by playing 40K.
absolutely, definitely in my
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. So I think it's a great charity. Now, all that heartwarming stuff being said, Charity Hammer ends up being a fantastic event for the attendees because it is the melting pot of all the people that you want to play 40K with, all the strange armies and combos that you've never seen before. Everyone there is a good person, a great personality. We're all working together, but we're all also having fun. So, we were watching before the game went live, we were watching the Pool House stream, and we were just watching guys hang around tables, chatting. And to me, that's what I miss the most about Charity Hammer is the games are great and raising the money is fantastic. But just being able to see the community that you don't get to see very often is what keeps a lot of us coming back to doing this kind of stuff and volunteering to do. How many hours of commentary are you doing in a row?
Just a few. It's fine.
Just okay, yeah.
Just a few.
What's your spiel, Adam?
If you do so happen to be awake for the next 16 hours, maybe I'll be here that long.
The whole time.
Yeah, exactly right.
I don't even want to know what time is it where you're at.
It's 2:30 a.m.
All right, so you're starting an early work day.
Yeah, I've been up for an hour, made a big pot of tea, and I'm just going to be doing what I love for the next however long they'll have me. It's literally the way I go with this. Yeah, it's just an amazing time. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining us in chat. Just going to give out some shout outs to some of the amazing people here. Christopher Irvine, Great Evil 12, Nogel Matthew, of course, the absolute champion. Bendaroo, absolute lads, Bill Gross. Painting ambitiously. I do like that. I hope you were painting right now, getting that brush wet. Tricky Dicky, my man. I'll see you in a couple hours. I'm gonna be jumping off for an hour, sometime around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be jumping onto the Thursday show, finishing that up, and jumping back onto the Charity Hammer stream. You guys cannot escape me today.
You are everywhere. You are omnipresent. You are Adam.
I'm
You
all
are
around
inevitable.
you. I'm inevitable, yeah. I did want to get somebody to do up a Thanos with different gems of Infinity Gauntlet for all the different podcasts and crap I'm on.
All the logos. I'm sure someone in chat this weekend while watching the 200 plus hours of content that's being created could get that put together for you.
I'm very sure, but I'm indulged enough as it is. What are you hoping to see from Charity Hammer, and what are you seeing in this game? Because I've seen a charge move occur.
It looks like we've had some disembarking. I'm guessing this has to be intercessors, so they hit the midfield objective. So it looks like Noah's going to be able to get his stranglehold. Those sentinels, made that charge move, and looks like they tagged 2, if not 3, of the impulsors.
Yeah, I think they just did that to spread out, get in the way, hold down the movement.
Well, but the problem is without fly, I don't know that there's an easy path to disembark the intercessors that are inside to charge and smack them with some hammers.
They have to fall back.
Yeah. So
but
that was a brilliant move by John, because that's not shooting. Because the Ultramarines don't get fallback and shoot until their tactical doctrine, right?
Correct.
So they're not going to get any shooting out of all of that. So they're playing bumper cars, and I don't know that he's going to be able to. It doesn't look like he fell back, because he's rolling some dice.
Yeah, he got one squad. He managed to get one squad to go around the back, as you can see from the top. Impulsor came down. I would say
there. I'm guessing
double
power
6
is going into the...
That's a super smart, my man.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's
but it looks like
his damage.
His damage output is going to be minimal this turn.
Absolutely negligible. Like, if he kills a sentinel, he should be happy. Killing 2, mind you, they're pretty easy to kill. Like, they've got really bad saves.
Yeah.
But it's pretty likely he kills 2 to 3. Well, he's going to be able to shoot into combat with the impulsors. Do you know what they've got? Have they got the Sky Talon arrays? Have they got... what do they got gun-wise?
They got Sky Talon arrays.
They got tons of gun with Rend 2, which is kind of all you need. You just need to roll a bunch of 5s at Rend 2.
Well, they'll be minus... Well, let me pull up their profile so we can get all the juicy...
They're heavy. They'll have 2 Stormbolters apiece and then the Sky Talon array. So they'll have 8 shots, Strength 4, no Rend, and then 8 shots, Strength 4, Rend 2.
The heavies are going to be -1 in combat.
Yeah.
So he's going to get 4 hits, like 3 wounds.
Well, they'll wound on 5, so maybe you'll get 1 or 2 from each.
Yeah.
But then then John will get a 6-up save. So they're pretty good. They're pretty hot to trot.
Yeah.
For killing 1 sentinel just between the Sky Talons, maybe half killing another 3 and all the Stormbolters. And then maybe he gets a charge off with something to get another one.
Okay,
dead.
so it looks like he's taken one sentinel down there and put another on half wounds.
I mean, the rot sets in for the guard. Everybody, hold on.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it. For those playing along at home, please go over to Charity Hammer. The links should be just about everywhere. Give freely if you can. If not, thank you so much for being here to boost the signal. Share it, like it, whatever you can to help us get as much money raised for all the incredible charities. My absolute honor to be here representing Charity Hammer. It's a thing I try and do every year. Haunted Bagel Hobbies. That's a fantastic name. A haunted bagel. What even is that?
I'm not sure.
Give us.
It looks like his name also has a logo associated with it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. I want
Haunted-
it from the horse's mouth. Haunted Bagel. Tell us the story. I want to know what the hell is the meaning behind your name.
Maybe his game store is in a bagel shop.
Great Evil 12. I'm guessing comes from a long lineage of Great Evils and is the 12th. As this charity hammer is the 4th, so is Great Evil 12 the 12th in their line of Great Evils. Son of Diablo. I don't know.
No, who knows what that can mean? Who knows?
Incredible prizes to be won through Charity Hammer. A bunch of amazing prize support for the raffle. So for every $30 that you do donate, you do get into the raffle. You could be in multiple raffles multiple times. The prize pool is pretty much always the same. Oh, sorry, the raffle pool is pretty much always the same. Like you just get the amount of tickets in the draw, and then there's like 30 draws. So like more raffle tickets, more better.
I think Colin was saying on the opener that they have close to 40 prizes, with the grand prize being $1,200 at Hammerhead Games, and the second grand prize being a commission painted army by Sean Naden.
That's just a commission painted army by one of the best painters and players. Like, I mean, he is the Renaissance man.
Multiple year winning Ren Man at LVO, Sean Naden. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal at all.
Freehand all the things forever, Sean Naden.
That's all you do. That's all you tell him to do. You just be like, yo, just free that hand up, loosen the wrist. RSI will set in before you're done, and you give me 100 hours of free hand.
Yeah. I was just checking right now. The donation total is sitting a little over $7,300, which is amazing. That was mostly the pre-event donations, but the goal this year is a mighty high goal. Do you know what the goal for this year is, Adam?
No, tell us about it.
Well, last year we set the goal pre-event at 20,000. Which we were at 20,000 before the streams even fired. So calling up the ambitious goal for last year to $40,000 for 40K, right? Well, we blew that away. We hit $40,000 last year. So every year, Colin's got to go bigger. So this year he set the goal for $50,000.
Amazing, and why not? Let's do it. There's nothing this community can't do.
No,
and I'm here for it.
I have full faith in everyone. Just follow the link and donate. I believe, if I remember correctly, that the website Tiltify that this is run through, everything goes directly to Charity Hammer, so nothing is handled by anyone here. So no chance that any of your money is going to get put into anything else but that charity. And importantly, if you are donating in the U.S., they will give you a receipt for tax purposes. So if you're worried about that, or you want to take advantage of that, there's people that are a lot smarter about taxes than I am, but they handle that, and apparently donating is helpful for your taxes.
Apparently it is. Apparently I hear good things about it.
Yeah. The government seems to like that, and we do too.
We do as well. So why not sling a couple of dollars if you can? That would be greatly appreciated.
It looks like we have made combat with, I'm guessing that's the chaplain.
Yeah, that would be my call as well. Chuck the chappy in.
Chaplain took out the sentinel. So we have freed up the impulsors from the evil
machinations. The machinations of the devious sentinel.
So what do you think John's play is this turn? Now that the impulsor wall is freed up and relatively undamaged?
I'd be trying to charge as many Booger as I can onto the middle objective and flood it.
He's in a good position with a lot of those models right now.
He wants to focus the grind on the middle objective as much as possible and keep as much of the Space Marine army there, because what he doesn't want is impulses all over the home objectives. As soon as that happens, I mean, so John, for those following along at home, John has exactly 0 obsec. 5 intercessors on an objective is a nightmare for him to kind of clear. So he needs to protect and insulate and make sure the fight happens on where he needs it to happen. We did have an update from the Haunted Bagel. It's literally told us the story. He is in fact a sentient bagel, a la the same as Rick on Rick and Morty was.
I'm a pickle. Yeah,
it's a sentient pickle. He says a baker is built on an old burial ground and I am a common accumulation of the spirits buried there, made manifest in a bagel. I am a haunted bagel. Well, you've a haunted bagel with great taste because you do hobbies, so haunted bagel hobbies. So, well done to you, sir. Apparently, some of those spirits must have been artistically inclined, if not, I don't know, savages.
Bagels.
Maybe you play a certain army because of the spirits you were culminated from.
All right. Well, it looks like we're in John's movement phase, and like you were suggesting, it looks like he's trying to flood forward with all of those Ogren. Looks like he's got that forward white units in a good position to charge. I don't know if they're going to be able to do enough in combat to pick up those intercessors off that objective.
Almost certainly
Um,
not.
Yeah. So it looks like this other unit might be trying to get in a position to maybe charge and tag and tie up some of these impulsors on the bottom portion of the screen.
Yeah,
And
that
just try to make as much of a meat wall and slow down and keep those impulsors hemmed in.
that's a good term for this game. When you've got 3 units of 8 Bulgarin, meat wall is essentially what you're required to play into.
Adam, do you remember the Nopen? Do you remember Shield Wall?
Mm-hmm.
This is Shield Wall's unpretty cousin, Meat
Yes. The hit by the ugly stick many a time.
Yep.
Meat wall. I adore everything about this. I wonder just how many actual smites and relevant psychic powers he can push down. Like,
No idea.
Yeah.
No clue.
Yeah, I'm quite curious what can be accomplished by this army. I don't think it's much. Like, I'm trying to be optimistic and like believe in the power of the guard because I am a guard player and I do love them.
All right. Well, let's bold prediction time. Who do you think is going to take this match?
Oh, the guard, the Marines is hands
The
down who I'm
Marines?
thinking is taking this.
Real fun part of looking at this kind of game. So we have on the table Noah versus John, but in the brains we also have John versus Mitch. Did Mitch
Yes.
hamstring John enough?
Enough that
Yeah.
he can't bring his considerable brain to work on this matchup. I think he did. I think this list is the hottest of hot garbage. And I would love to be proven wrong. But that was the whole point, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Who can bring the hotter garbage?
Can we make John's brain work so hard, go into overdrive to somehow make this happen?
Just melt down from just impotence on the table.
We're gonna have to get like some liquid cooling cap for his head.
Yes, liquid cooling. That's fantastic.
Overclocked John brain. All right, we've got dice rolling. Maybe psychic powers. I don't know.
It's got to be psychic, right? We kind of movement
Okay,
phase.
we're pulling up stratagems.
Stratagems is going to do the Weird Vein and Psyker strat, the one where the Weird Vein and a Primaris Psyker both give themselves +1 and can do additional powers. That's the only stratagem of relevance I think he has in this entire list.
There's no stratagem for the Ogrins?
No, they can do some mortals on the charge, I believe. Is pretty much the extent.
Might be useful. I don't know.
I mean, you're doing it. Like, what else you gonna do?
I mean, how many CP does John start with? That's the other question. Because I was rude when I wrote my list. The orc list starts with 3 CP.
That is pretty rude. But that is a list, like, that is an inherent issue with orcs, right?
Extra relics or warlord traits or anything like that. So
totally fine.
Did we talk about the 30 ratlings?
I mentioned them.
Do those do anything good?
Can you roll 6s? I mean, if you can't roll 6s, they don't really do anything.
I mean, you got 30 shots.
Yeah, I mean, they do hit on 3s as well, and they're 30 shots. So it's like, it's not horrific, but I don't believe. Let me just double check. It's been a long time. It's been quite a while between drinks on the rattling front.
Let's go pull that data sheet up.
Yeah, let's have a gaze. This is one of the great things about this. What does a rattling do? Yeah, okay. 36-inch range, heavy 1, strength 4, no rend, 1 damage. Yeah, 6s to wound are a mortal wound. Yeah, they do hit on 3s. They move 5. Guess what? They are strength and toughness 2, with a
Jesus.
6-up save.
So if the impulsors or anything sneezes in their general direction, they die.
When an impulsor is like a horrible predator to your model, that's a bad model. Worst nightmare, a
Oh,
blocker.
they can shoot and move.
Yeah, they can shoot and scoot. Yeah, which
So they
will
can
not
pop up.
which will not help in any way because there are no ruins on this table.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it so much. I love it
Well, they
so
do
much.
get an extra save and cover.
Yay! 4-up.
Yeah. T2 for farmer save.
Nice.
Man, I'm looking at the picture in the GW app, and that model has a hell of a face on him.
Oh yeah.
If you're listening, go look that guy up because he looks like he has tire tread marks on his face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. The years have not been kind.
No, they're not.
Hobby the haunted bagel. Due to the variety of spirits he is manifested from, he plays everything, or they play everything. Sorry, the collective, the conglomeration. Plays Iron Hands, Ad Mech, Imperial Knights, T-Suns, Death Guard, and Custodes. That is quite a range. No Xenos in there? Yes, 0 Xenos. Good for you.
All right, so let's just do some numbers. Let's shoot 30 ratlings at a unit of intercessors and see what happens. So you get what,
18 hits.
threes. Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
You're wounding on
4.
4.
4s.
So you're gonna get like 3 mortals and 9 saves.
Which they'll get straight saves for. They'll get 3-ups or 2-ups if they've got cover.
Yeah.
So, how many saved? 9 saves?
9 saves and 3 mortals. So you fail.
So you're gonna take 6 probably because you'll fail 3 of the 3-ups on 9 dice, and then take 3 mortals. So you kill 3 intercessors with your 300 points of rattlings.
I'm trying here, damn it.
And that's if they didn't move. They'll hit on 4s if they moved, and you'll get 15 hits, translating into 8 wounds, and yeah, real bad. But I mean, they're not here because they're good. They're here because they're not.
Yeah, I mean, this is the bad RTT.
It is, yeah. I think we just saw John roll a fun bucket of Ripper gunshots, which I didn't see any models getting removed.
No. It looks like he's rolling more dice. I think that's going to be the story of this game: is dice get rolled and not much happens. A pile of dice.
Valerie's joined us in chat. Valerie's joined us in chat as well. The tanks on the right, the blue ones, are impulsors. Tanks on the left at the back of the board are hydras.
Yeah.
Just to bamboozle you.
I have a very important question.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Here's the 2 middle impulsors have dice on top of them. Does that mean that Noah's doing wound count ups?
He may be counting up. I would love to believe he's counting down, and they've got 1 and 4 wounds left respectively, but I have to believe he's counting up, in which case you make me
Noah, I thought so much better of you.
In the words of the eternal words of Peter the Falcon, not like this.
All right, Sean's got another fistful of dice. There was lots of 5s and 6s in that.
Hey, yeah.
That's good. Noah rolls some dice and...
he is counting up.
Oh my god. All that for 1 wound.
Well, it is the worst ITT, so you should use the worst manners that you have, right? The worst
maybe that's what he's like, you know what? I'm gonna better yet, when you're taking your 2-ups, you gotta roll them 1 at a time.
Yep. If I'm gonna play in the worst ITT, I'm gonna play as the worst player in the worst ITT.
No.
I'm gonna count up until I'm halfway, then I'm gonna start counting down just to confuse you. Yeah, don't do that.
Man.
Psychic Interrogation. So for John's secondary, Psychic Interrogation, Hammer of the Emperor, and Assassinate. Do you know what Hammer of the Emperor does?
Isn't it like essentially kill something?
Points. Yeah, it's kill points. Yeah.
Right. Assassinate is an interesting choice. There's only 3 characters, right?
Well, I mean, John might be emulating Noah's fine example and being like, if I'm playing the bad RTT, I'm going to play as a bad player and take a bad secondary.
I feel like Assassinate is a bad call when you're taking Psychic Interrogation.
Well, I think taking anything that relies on you killing things with this army is a bad idea. Just straight up.
Why wouldn't you take, instead of Assassinate, well, I guess you can't take Stranglehold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, You take Bring It Down. You're not going to
You,
believe that's going to happen. You can't believe Stranglehold, but like
but his
you can
ability
at
to
least
well, his ability to stop you killing characters is much more increased than his ability to stop you killing a tank. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, he could go the game giving you zero opportunities to kill characters. Can't play this game without giving you some opportunity to kill impulsors. This, and I'm saying that with full knowledge that your impulsory killing abilities are awful.
Yeah.
Imagine a
Alright.
world where the impulsor is a premium unit again. I would love that. It's
Oh
yeah.
man. They
They
still have
could
the ability to let their stuff out after they move, right?
they do, yeah, but 110 points is where they start pre-gun. Um, seems a lot.
Look, I'm trying to make them good somehow, all right?
It's like that's wave serpent points right there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, they're definitely as good as a wave serpent.
Oliver Samstang. Speaking of the Falcon, the prophet of the great Cacao, will he be doing any commentating too? Yes, I believe he will. I believe he'll be joining us at some portion of this extravaganza over the next 4 days. So
Yeah, I can
don't go
go pull up the
anywhere.
schedule and see
In
where he
fact,
is.
just leave the stream going. Like if you've got a computer you don't use for anything else, set it up, turn it on, chuck it on your big screen if you want, walk past it a couple of times a day, check in every now and then, get some raffle tickets, throw up some sassy comments when your favorite player isn't doing so well or somebody you know isn't doing so well. Just get stuck into them, show them they ain't all that, or they are. And yeah, I'm very happy to have you guys involved with Charity Hammer. Like, share, subscribe, sharing being the big one. Boosting the signal on this stream is apart from donating, is the best thing you can do for us. So if you've got a hobby channel, if you've got an Instagram, if you've just got some mates who might be bored this weekend, just bang, tell them about Charity Hammer, tell them to hook it up and boost this signal for us. The guard list. I think the Ugrin have another rend in combat. I think they are rend 1 in combat. They have like 4 or 5 attacks each on the charge. Like, are they not god awful into non? I mean, they're 25 points a pop, but into non armor of contempt, are they actually passable with like a bunch of strength 5 rend 1 attacks?
I mean, maybe.
It is funny that a Bulgur and Ogryn is the same points as was the same points as a
Yeah,
Teenage
because they
Warrior.
use their gun for the AP, so yeah. Their weapon skill 3.
Yeah,
Eh.
you give him a priest for another attack, you know.
Man, that armor save though.
Oh, dude, an impulsor is dead. Just sit down, guys. Like, the decline of the Smurf is upon us. It's beginning.
How did he kill an impulsor?
I don't know how he killed one. I have no idea.
I've got to assume it's with psychic.
You have to, right?
And if he's counting up, that other one is sitting on 7 wounds taken.
You have to assume.
He just 3d6 something with a 5.66.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got autocannons on the Hydras. They've got 6 shots each, I believe, or is it 6 or 8 shots? They got some amount of regular ass autocannon attacks. Like they're going to be hitting on 4s, winding on 4s.
I mean, if John gets some hot dice early in this game and pops 2 transports turn 1 or turn 2
Early
now, but
yeah,
I mean that's going to definitely hamper a lot of Noah's mobility.
Yeah, it's not nothing.
Plays into John's hands pretty nicely.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's not nothing. What's on your painting desk at the moment, dude? What have you been working on, if anything?
Well, I just finished up a bunch of bad orc models for some bad list. But outside of that, I'm probably I'm switching back to orcs from Tau.
Good man.
And I have a lot, almost everything I would ever need for orcs painted, if I'm honest. But I might just paint some more bikes for funsies because I have a bunch of extra bikes lying around. I don't know. I've got a list tinker, and of course they dropped the update like 45 minutes before we got on here, so I really haven't had a chance to list tinker and figure out. But I want to probably paint up some bikes. I've also got a bunch of like old out of production Forge World models for orcs that I've built.
Oh, beautiful.
That I might just paint for display purposes. That kind of stuff.
Love it. Do it,
Oh,
man.
we did we have an explosion?
That would
He measured out from one of the impulsors to the unit of intercessors on the objective.
I think he's disembarking.
Okay, maybe. I was like, hold on.
It's a lot of dice he's racking up as well. What? Is this just Ripper gun saves? Like
Maybe.
Just a bunch of. Which dice is he pulling out? Yeah, I think that was just 3 ups.
All right.
Yeah, he's just doing some Ripper gun saves, seeing what is up. He's rolling again. It's a lot of dice to be rolling twice. Oh, he's overwatching. His buddy boy overwatching.
Oh, that's right. Ultramarines can do that.
That's what he's doing. We cracked the code.
That's why he was measuring to the intercessors,
Yeah.
because he needed to be within 6 inches to do that.
Yeah. So one of the cutest things the Ultramarines can do is that they can essentially do what Tau used to do and can overwatch for each other. Up to 3 units can overwatch for a unit. And so 3 impulsors have just overwatched into what I think is the first unit of Bulgrin charging in. And it looks like he lost 1, possibly 2 of that number.
You keep wanting to say Bulgrin because you want to assume they're good.
And I don't even Bulgrin aren't even good. I mean, they'd actually be good in this army. Well, superior in this army. But there's what Mitch could have done, right? He could have taken a bunch of Bulgrin without the maul, with just the grenade gauntlets. That would have been just as trolly. Like, here is a unit that could be good, but we've taken this shit weapon. Like, and you can just suck eggs.
I mean, so for everyone at home, the instructions that we got when we were told to write these lists were to write a tournament list that someone would try to make work, but is a bad list.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think he could have done that. That's why I threw Mech Boss Buzzgob in there, because I'm like, he can give a Walker +1, so you can have Gorkanauts hitting on 2s in combat, but you got to get there. So, yeah, I mean, I think that definitely could have been a build that we could have saw, but I think this is definitely the of the guard options, the worst option.
Oh my lord, is it bad? It is so bad, and I'm here for it. Look, he's got 1 secondary point. That means he got a kill. He got to look at this lad getting a kill.
I would be very, very interested if we could get John on or Noah on after the game to hear like how they tried to make these lists work.
Yeah, that would actually be a fun thinking exercise. Hey, when you were handed the brief and then you were handed the list, what was your reaction?
How did you try to figure out how to play a game with this?
Yeah, mortified is the word.
So if he can kill that 1 lone intercessor off, did he already swing? No, he's swinging now.
Yeah.
If he kills that intercessor off, he could conceivably kind of pile in and touch a bunch of stuff and kind of, again, plug the gap.
I assume we've had transhuman paid for. I believe we saw some CP being moved there for the Ultramarines player.
Oh god, he's slow rolling it.
He's gonna
he failed when he's CPing it.
He's doing it. Oh, make it. Or do not. There is no try in the CP game.
Live?
I think.
Oh god, there's 1 wound left.
There's 1 left, which is enough for a 12 on the primary, as long as there's 1 left.
Yeah, and he has enough CP to auto pass it if the morale's a concern.
Well, yeah, if it's the sergeant and it's Ultramarines, he's leadership 9, so he can only fail on a 6.
And it's Marines don't care about combat attrition anymore.
Yeah, so he can only fail on a 6 is the only thing that would happen. So he'd fail on a 6 and then the last guy would run. You'd probably roll that, right? In this game, you'd probably roll that.
Or the other question is, what else are you going to use your CP on if you're Noah?
That's true. Yeah, it's true. I mean, that buddy boy
he just CP rerolled an armor save on an intercessor.
For the trolley lollies of it. Yeah, for the sheer fun. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
All right. Well, Adam, unfortunately, I have to step away for a few minutes, but you have the gift of gab, and I am quite confident that you can keep the airwaves entertaining in my absence. But I'll be back as soon as I can, guys.
Well, I'm certainly full of something, hot air or BS, whatever it may be. I will carry this as long as I can. If not, we might just listen to the players for a bit. We do have the players mic'd.
That would be good. Yeah.
Please let us know if you'd prefer that for a time, and we can just bounce in and out. I can just start doing round recaps. So yeah, please let us know what you guys would prefer. We are here to make this as enjoyable a stream as possible for your viewing experience. And this game is just wild. But we'll see you soon, Seth.
I expect a full, colorful recap when I get back.
Absolutely, be blow, blow, blow. Bow,
All right,
blow,
see ya.
yeah, whatever. See you soon, mate. Just you guys and the Atom here. And it is early morning for me, so I'm going to tune this down to the sultry tones. And we'll see if we can get some golf commentary going here. Bulgrin, Ogrin, whatever they may be, not good is what they are. Looks like we have a wrap being executed well by John in the middle. That single, what I believe, intercessor on the middle objective has been wrapped and trapped. In addition to 2 impulses being tapped also. But we are going to see a max exodus, I believe, from these impulses in Noah's turn. And what John doesn't want to have happen is his home objectives getting flooded. It would actually be a really bad day at the office. Valerie doesn't really mind. Thank you, Valerie. I'll do what I like. Champion, appreciate it. Give us shout outs in chat, please, especially if you have donated and you have a couple of raffle prizes and you have your eye on one of the prizes in particular for what you want to win. Like, what are you going to make sure Naden paint for you? You know, if you win, I'd love to hear. If not, please give us a shout out of where you're hailing from, what you're looking forward to seeing this charity hammer, or just anything you're working on at the moment. You guys are literally like the third commentator here. We love, and I love interacting with you. And this is all pretty much for you guys in order to bait you into slinging some dollars for a worthy cause, hopefully. Big questions here for Noah. I mean, he's in tactical doctrine. He can fall back and shoot this turn, which means he probably should. Like, he should probably just bail all the boys out pretty close and then beat back up all the boats. Or trucks, Tonka trucks, however you want to have these lads described. But as it sits right now, I do think he can dig this out, this middle objective, pretty well. Which, I mean, it should be pretty reasonable for him to hold the middle from here if the Ogrins do go down. Oliver Samstag is hailing from Germany. Whereabouts in Germany, dude? It's not a small place, as some people may assume. It's quite a lot in there. I'm very much looking forward to visiting someday as well. Are you coming to the WTC in Belgium, or are you supporting your national team? Germany's one of those perennial top teners at the WTC, always in a chance. And funnily enough, for those people who don't know, like the internal, say, ITC battle in Germany is literally just to pick the WTC team for that year. Like their top 8 of the previous year, like in the standings when it comes time to pick the team, just becomes the team. It's like, it's that savage, it's that awesome. I love it so much. So dropping some knowledge bombs. 45 minutes south of Frankfurt. Sounds beautiful. Sounds like a beautiful part of the world. Hopefully the food's awesome too. We have had one impulsive fallback with the contents being disgorged. Just looks like intercessors from what I can tell from this angle, with a body boy character in support bringing up the rear. I think we did see the chaplain down earlier, which is now nestled inside that conglomerate of units. And then to the back of that unit, we got a nice big fatty base, which I believe could be a actually, I don't know who that is. I actually don't know who that is. I might have to look that one up. Captain Gravis armor? No, that's the wrong list. That's one with all the intercessors. Where is the ultras? So guys, just taking this for a little scroll through the document. This Gaunt's Ghost, I want to see Gaunt's Ghost do something, and I want to talk to John afterwards and hear him say Gaunt's Ghost was awesome and won me the game, because those are words I never expect to see. Yep, Tigerius, Litany of Faith, with a chappie, Primaris Lieutenant, with a Mastercrafted Power Sword, a Blade Guard Ancient, an Apothecary, 85 intercessors with auto bolt rifles and a thunder hammer, 5 intercessors bolt rifle thunder hammer, 5 5 5 5. I think that's 6 units. Yep. And then impulses with sky. Literally this list yeah, this list is literally just impulses with the Thunderhammer in pulses. There's 6 units of that configuration. So actually, there's enough Thunderhammers to absolutely annihilate this. Germany's small, USA/Australia knowledge. I mean, by European standards, Germany is not small. And one of the great things about European nations is that they may be small geographically, but my God, there is so much to see and do in every one of them, which I adore. Oliver, I just mentioned, just returning from my pilgrimage to Warhammer World. That's my hobby traveling for the year. Dude, give us your highlights of Warhammer World. I haven't done that pilgrimage as of yet. It's kind of if there was a mecca for us hobbyists, us nerds, it would definitely be Warhammer World. I'd love to hear people's predictions as well of what they expect to happen in this game, because this is a hell of a wild ride. I expect the Ultras to win, just because I think they have surprisingly well. I just think they have all the killing ability is weighted their side. It's pretty much up to John to make the most of his smites and his mortal wounds in order to bridge the gap. But apart from that, like, just bolt guns is pretty horrific for most of what's occurring in John's army. That literally just the Sentinels and the Hydras feel durable against them. Even the Ogrins do not. The toughest 5 but only got a 4-up armor save. So Rend 2 on a regular ass or Rend 1 on auto bolt rifles is actually enough to do a bunch of wounds, which is a bit tragic. Nice. Looks like we got a couple of other stream teams going on right now also. So there is a bunch of different channels for I want to see the Rattlings fight Chiggy. Most nail-biting duel of Charity Hammer. Christopher Irvine wanting the hot and heavies that occur in this game. Oh, look. You'd be hard-pressed to find a greater contest of arms, wouldn't you? 10 Rattlings versus Tigerius. Like, I don't know who I want to win that. Actually, definitely want the Rattlings to win that, now that I think about it. Just being strength 2 and hitting on 5s in combat, if they pulled down Tiggy by just literally just kicking him in the shin, I'd be the happiest lad in like, incredible. Find some kind of upgrade to go on your Rattlings, because they've just done the Lord's work. I haven't seen what I thought I'd see from the Ultras this turn, which is a bunch of units of Intercessors slinging onto the home objectives for John. Like, I expected at least one unit to make it into the top left, which I believe is a very weak flank for John. It looks like he's got the vast majority of his strength into the bottom left-hand table quarter. The top left-hand looks pretty weak to me. It's like just a single Sentinel. So, but maybe Noah's just like, the gun's actually irrelevant here. So, yeah. I might just want to just use those for a bit. Christopher says he'll donate $30 if they make the Tiggy Rattling fight happen. Can we get a message to him? We get a little carrier pigeon to go tap him on the shoulder and tell him to do the right thing. I mean, Chris, you should probably donate that anyway, but I'll definitely put it to them that they should give you some incentives by making the silly plays happen. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining us so far for Charity Hammer. This is an absolutely amazing event that our community puts on every year, and thank you so much for supporting it. You guys are all absolute champions. Valerie's saying Germany is bigger than New Zealand. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, it's like bigger than Japan as well. It's bigger than a bunch. I mean, France is legitimately huge. I did some travel through France and through Sweden, and through Italy, and like, there's just so much to see and do in Europe. Whereas, like, comparatively to Australia, Australia is freaking empty, guys. Just put it out there. Like, 7/8 of my nation, even though it's gigantic, is like uninhabitable desert, or like, I mean, the Badlands where all the monsters live, where we don't go there. We don't talk about it. In fact, you should probably forget I mentioned it. I love streaming, guys. Please believe me when I say it is my absolute honor and pleasure to be here bringing you Charity Hammer. Nothing brings me more joy than highlighting the game I love, especially a game being played by people I like, in a community that I absolutely adore, for a cause that I support. I mean, this just keeps getting better and better for me, and hopefully it just gets better and better for you guys too. backing up the call of the game, looks like we have made combat. I mean, this game is going pretty quick. There's not many moving parts here. Noah like casts 1 or 2 powers with Tiggy and then shoots his gun, charges his boys. Like, not much nuance to it. John literally does everything available to him, which is not very much at all. So, you know, do the best you can with what we got. Looks like we're rolling into that assault phase. A unit of intercessors plus 2 characters have made it into combat on the middle objective with a unit of Ogrins. Looks like we have 3 Thunderhammer wounds that have gone through. And do you know what the bad thing about is them? John, if they're in Assault Doctrine, there is 0 save that John is getting. If they're not, he gets a 6 up. Looks like we just saw 3 Ogrins removed from that middle clump, 2 remaining. They don't have great morale in addition. I think they're in their leadership 7. So even losing 2 or 3 is actually pretty doldrums stuff. Another one being picked up. We have 1 Bulgrin left. Is it crazy that I think he maybe wants to wrap that guy? But I do expect him to just be like, hey, he's a character. Character's going to kill. Chaplain Litany has gone off, obviously, because they're the only source of rerolls in melee. There's another 5 wounds going through, last of them being picked up. Man, those Ogrins evaporated to, like, basic Marines and characters, just to show you where they're at in this game at the moment. Because nowhere is where they're at. They're absolutely tragic. Straight into the bottom of turn... the top of turn 3, I believe, is where we'll be. As the score that sits right now, Noah has 3 on secondary points, being assassinated, stranglehold, no prisoners. He's going to rack up another 3 on stranglehold, and then he's going to get at least a point or 2 on no prisoners in addition. So he should be sitting at a hearty 8 or 9 points on secondaries. His primary has not scored as of yet. I believe that was his turn. No, that is his turn 2. That is his turn 2. We're about to go into John's turn 3. So the fact John held him onto a 0 in primary, I'm actually curious how that happened. Maybe we did miss some early rattling plays, and if we do, my apologies. Christopher Irvine, I can't wait to commentate Saturday morning. Going to be my first time, dude. Commentating for the first time is a lot of fun. You should all, if you do get the opportunity, you think you're somewhat inclined, even if it's just for the fun of it and no one's listening, no one's paying attention, it's still fun. Get into it, enjoy, just talking with your mates. Just get in it, like, sometimes just jumping in Discord with your mates and just being like, hey, I'm going to commentate on this game, hang out, talk some absolute bollocks, and tell me how I'm doing. It's still a good time. It's still pretty enjoyable. Into the top of turn 3 for John. We might want to get somebody to give these guys a nudge and tell them to update their scores. Because I know that they have not been updated for the primary, especially for John at the start of his turn 3, which should have been an 8. I think he's holding 2 pretty safely. Losing 1 unit of Ogren's turn 2 wasn't too bad. He still got 2 more, but we saw how much they just vaporized. I mean, 1 assault intercessor with chaplain rerolls and a thunderhammer is just like a nightmare. Like, was that they got 4 attacks, hitting on 4s rerolling, so 3 hits, winning on 3s. So it's just 2 dead. It's just two dead, straight up 2 dead. And then of course you can spike and do more and more and more, which just gets worse and worse and worse. A crazy day though dawning for the realms of 40k. Secondary changes coming in Warzone Nephilim. CP changes in addition, which have really shaken things up list construction wise. Tell us what your thoughts are at home. How are you dealing or coping with the changes? Are they positive or negative for your faction? Looks like we have also just had the secondaries and points updated. Noah sitting on 12 for primary so far, which would have been of course, he had the intercessors up and holding with 1 guy left, making sure he got the 12 in his bottom of turn 2, addition to 7 on secondaries. That's 2 rounds of stranglehold, and 1 point on no prisoners. It should be another point, I believe, on no prisoners, because the Ogrins almost give up 3 points, and he's killed a whole unit. And then for John, we have 8 on the primary, 4 on the secondaries, which has got to be 3 points on Psychic Interrogation, and then 1 kill point on Hammer of the Emperor. Seeing as we're still in the movement phase here, we're just being told that we have the ability to switch to Table 2. I've got no idea who's on Table 2, but I want to find out. So we can hit that transition, guys. We'll be with you in a second, and we'll be able to see a whole new table of this magnificently bad RTT. Hank on the Eldar versus Fred Fortman on the Crimson Fists. Marines versus Xenos. You'll love to see it. I'm here. I'm here exclusively for the Crimson Fists. Yeah, I actually love Crimson Fists. Firstly, the fluff is incredible. Like the whole Rinds World stuff is phenomenal, and they're just cool. Their paint scheme's actually rad as well. Crimson Fists is freaking cool. Like the fact that they can make purple and red work is a pretty big testament. These two armies, though, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown. Looks like I'd have to assume that Fred has gone first because he has another turn of primary scoring on top of Hank, unless he has just flooded. But this is literally just intercessors, I believe, if I remember correctly. This is literally just intercessors and a couple of characters is the entirety of this list. And I think this is actually, I mean, this is the list you could see in an RTT one day. Like, if intercessors were actually fairly costed, this wouldn't be a horrifically bad list. So Imperial Fist successor, of course, Crimson Fist. They get plus hit when they are outnumbered. Is the way I remember it. He's got a captain in Gravis armor with just some stuff: Hand of Dawn, Stoic Defender, Sentinel of Terror, Armor Dominus. Then he's got a Primaris Librarian with Null Zone and Psychic Fortress, which is Chief of Librarian with Rights of War as well, which is actually a good combo. Then he has 1 unit of 5 Assault Intercessors, 1 unit of 10 Assault Intercessors, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 10 regular intercessors. Once again, each one to Thunder Hammer. Then an Apothecary, 3 Assault Bolter Inceptors, and a unit of 5 Eradicators with the bad gun, with the standard melter rifle, because it's bad. It is a bad RTT. Zooming in to get a bit of a lay of the land, a picture of this board. Sorry, I should do Hank's list. My absolute chagrin. I wish they had Pedro Candle here, but he's actually not awful. Like just having Chapter Master that has a bubble of +1 attack on all these bodies, it's actually would be a decent amount of value. So maybe they thought better of it. Where is Fred Fortman's list? Scrolling. Oh, so Fred isn't playing what he submitted. He's playing the Bale Tan list, which is every single aspect warrior in a unit of 1 unit of 5 of every single aspect warrior. And then I think 1, 2. So we've got 4. Is it 4 Phoenix Lords? Yes, it is. It is. Oh, okay. So I don't know if you guys can hear my little birdie in my ear, but apparently he switched out a bunch of the aspect warriors for wraiths. So he still has. I mean, weak, Fred. Weak. Shame on you. You had a sick list. The one that was submitted is Azaman, Fugan, Baharoth, and Jane Zar in, I think it's double patrols. Yep, double patrol. And then just a couple of units of rangers. And then we have one of Swooping Hawks. One of, it's a Vanguard as well. We have Karandras and Mugen Ra. So all 6 Phoenix Lords. 1 Dire Avengers, 1 Fire Dragons, 1 Howling Banshees, 1 Striking Scorpions, 1 Shining Spears, 1 Warp Spiders, 1 Dark Reapers, 1 Crimson Hunter Exarch. Like, what a beautiful list. Shame on you, Fred. And maybe he couldn't get the model, so I shouldn't say shame on him. But he's got, you can see in the top right, that looks like at least 2 units of Wraith Blades, and looks like another one in the bottom right as well. So he's actually got a legit amount of killing power. But on this table right now, I'm seeing so many Primaris bodies, and I'm here for it. Like, this is actually a style of play I wouldn't be surprised if we see adopted by Black Templars with the new Primaris Crusader, blobs, with them, getting all their free upgrades. This as Black Templars, like just 2 bricks of 20 or whatever conglomeration you want, the 14s or the 17s or whatever balance you like your Primaris Crusaders. And then, just bodying, just moving up the board en masse being Primaris bodies, I think is actually a cool list. Jumping into the secondaries for Hank, we have No Prisoners, we have Scout the Enemy, and Behind Enemy Lines. I think Scout the Enemy is the Rangers secondary, where you have to do an action at 6 inches outside your deployment zone or in your opponent's deployment zone for a bunch of different points. Rangers automatically do that secondary in the same turn, otherwise you have to hold through your opponent's turn. Looks like we're getting Hank moving out of his deployment zone. Looks like he's had his primary disrupted for the last time, and there will be some recourse here. So a bunch of Wraith Blades moving out. Looks like they have axes and shields from what I can see from this angle. And they shred Primaris bodies pretty effectively. Sorry, guys, just having a drink of tea. It is what I will be powering me through the next 16 hours of content. Thank you so much again to everybody joining us. Looks like we've got 10 over on Twitch and 30 over on YouTube. You guys are amazing. Nurgle Matthew, in particular, an absolute champion of the community. Nurgle Matthew, thank you so much for all you've done for us so far on a myriad of different streams. Seriously, there are streams that only exist because Nurgle Matthew, like, literally willed them into existence, being like, you know what? I'm going to give enough that you can just stream. You can just do what you do. Much love for you, mate. And I'm here for you too. Fred's list, secondaries wise, he's got 15 on the primary and 2 on his secondaries. They've just been updated. Now he's got 8 on his secondaries. And Hank's been updated to have 11 on his primary, and hopefully his secondaries get updated soon if they've changed also. So 23 to 13, a 10-point lead to Fred, but I'm of the assumption that Fred went first. The board state certainly leads me to believe that. He's taken Assassination, Oath of Moment, and Stranglehold. I think Stranglehold makes all the sense in the world. He has absolute supremacy on the OBSEC body count. And durability-wise, he's probably like it probably works out to be about even, between the damage reduction and the high toughness on the Wraith Blades, but then having the squishy Aspect Warriors to kind of counteract that versus just kind of a decent defensive profile across the board for Fred. Oath of Moment, I think, makes a lot of sense. This is as Stranglehold, this is literally just who can be more dominant in the middle of the table will win the day, carry the day. As yeah, all these Thunderhammers do start to become an issue for the Wraith Blades. Although they're -1 damage, so being only damage 2 means you got a couple of turns before they start really slaughtering you. Couple of comments in chat. Peter Noverini, vote for Pedro Cantor. Absolutely agree, mate. One of my favorite characters in the fluff as well. Oliver also mentioned, Colin said they decided that the all aspect list was too strong for the bad RTT. Man. You might be right. You might be correct. And I don't think it was the Aspect Warriors that were too strong. It's the Phoenix Lords. The fact that you just have 6 wound gated models that are all kind of okay. I mean, Mugen and Fugen are pretty ordinary, but Azuman and Jane Zar don't get the respect I think they deserve. At their Baharoth and Karandris are freaking cranked crazy. So having all 6 of those, you could win a game against a bad RTT list with just those 6 models, to be honest. Like, you could really annihilate somebody. And then, Banshees, Scorpions, Shining Spears are actually still very good units. Where can we find these lists? Says JK. They should all be up on the Charity Hammer website. I will post in the chat if it's not. Sorry, it is. The game schedule is in the Best in Tabletop. .com. There should be a link in all the chats, but I will just post one up in the chat boxes for you guys, just so you guys can see everything that there is to see about this. I'm not sure if the lists are available. I'll have to get my man in the mirror to give us the lowdown if they are. But I've just chucked in both the chats the Charity Hammer website, where you can go and donate and find out everything you need to know about this amazing event. And if the lists aren't there, my man in the mirror has just told me he will have it for us shortly. Looks like this could be the big turn of investment for Hank. He needs to really get on his bike. He's down by 10 points. And the primary is the thing he needs to worry about. He needs to get the primary back going his way. Otherwise, the secondaries for Fred all link into the primary with the exception of that assassination. Yeah, getting the primary just means stopping Fred in his tracks secondary wise as well, which you just have to do. No Prisoners, I think, is a great call by Hank. There's so many primary bodies to pick up points from. Just got to do it. Scout the enemy is an interesting one. I wonder if he's got a plan for that, or if that's why we're seeing a couple of units from Fred stay on the backboard edge. Like top left hand corner, you see 5 assault intercessors, and then looks like a unit of 10 stringing back into the bottom left and top left quadrants, just to probably zone out possibly a unit or 2 of rangers that have been left in reserve, because if they could just walk on and just get you bang a 3 or 4, I think it's 3 points, or it might be 4 points if they're in your deployment zone. If they just walk on, bang, get you 4 points, like equivalent of a double unit for behind enemy lines, it actually is a fair bit of scoring power, scoring pressure, like doing a turn 2 then doing a turn 3. So might be we see why we see Fred doing what he is doing.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, my dude. Welcome back. You're just in time. Yeah, I'm doing really well.
This This looks weird.
This looks
There's-
great. This looks
there's a
great.
bunch of angry Marines running forward. Something about, I don't even know what the Crimson Fist battle cry is. I couldn't even finish that, folks.
For Rin's World
For Ren's World. Okay.
and for Pedro.
For Pedro. Vote for Pedro. Man, someone needs to do a Crimson Fist army with Vote for Pedro shirts.
Absolutely.
Make it happen. And then this looks like the bad Eldar list, but they made some substitutions, it looks like.
Yeah, apparently Colin decided that the All Aspect Warrior one was actually too strong for this. And
Sean wrote a list, but it wasn't bad.
It's just funny that in usual circles, like at RTTs and super maids and stuff, people genuinely look at Sean's list as a bad list. Like, in anyone else's hands, this is a bad list that he has taken. And then he tried to write a bad list and actually wrote one that was okay. And I was of the opinion that was okay because it had 6 wound-gated models that were infantry. Which can just be overwhelming en masse because it had 6. Yeah. It had every Phoenix Lord.
Yeah. That would have been cutting through Marines pretty quick.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know. So an interesting thing for me is looking at the Phoenix Lords that do and don't get taken. I understand why Fugan and Mugen Ra don't get taken very much. They just don't really do anything. But Azuman is awesome.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, but he doesn't make the cut. Even though we're taking so many Dire Avengers, he doesn't make the cut, which I find really interesting. Karandris has been the second fiddle to Baharos, primary Bay.
Baharos is just so good.
Well, Baharos the best single model in the game. Maybe not anymore with the points changes, but hands down, the best single model unit in the game, like bar none. And we'll have to see if that's changed. Fingers crossed it has, because he's freaking toxic. But it's interesting that Karandris got the second fiddle slot. Even I do adore Karandris, and Karandris is my favorite, by the way. Striking Scorpions are my favorite aspect. But I thought it would have been Azuman with how strong Dire Avengers were.
Yeah, I mean, he gives them OBSEC. What else does he give them?
Just OBSEC. He might still give him out the. He used to give out the Invuln aura. But I think they had the Invuln all the time now.
Yeah, I think they do.
Let me just quickly...
Yeah, so maybe that's it. Because, I mean, like, there's... Oh, we hear that there is some action occurring in the guard. Oh, God. There's so many bodies. It looks like John is used Operation Meat Wall and is meat walling in the bottom objective on Noah's side of the table. Looks like he's hit Sentinels into one Impulsor, Ogren into another, and then he's getting the other Ogren unit is charging up and making the meat wall in front of the midfield objective. So he again is just hemming these Ultramarines in.
And this was the power of John going first. If John went second, he wouldn't be able to do this. We'd have impulses like halfway up the starting, John's turn halfway up the table. As it is right now, John's getting the ability to tempo this and just be like, here is a flood of bodies. Cool, you killed all them. Send in the second wave. Killed all them. Send in the last wave. And we'll see if that's enough. Right now, like, yes, 3 Sentinels on the bottom. In addition, he's got essentially in the bottom quadrant, the bottom table quarter, there's 16 Ogren and 3 Sentinels just flooding all that stuff. I do wonder if we saw it over commitment onto the middle of the table with I think it was 2 characters and 1 to 2 units of intercessors. Yeah, because it looks like they have all been cleared down to what I believe is just the chaplain left.
Yeah, I think I can see the chaplain there. I think that's it.
Yeah. So between smites and shooting, that's actually not a bad return for John for his DACA and his output.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like based off just models sitting in the back, these remaining 4 Impulsors still have dudes inside them. So they might be able to clear all this out. But at that point, are they going to get up the field and actually
participate
enough points scored to really matter?
Yeah, spot on. That's really why I wanted to see John sling something up into the top left-hand quarter, because he wanted to divert at least some of John's attention, so he couldn't just do what he's doing right now, which is literally just all in on the.
Is that another Sentinel on the top right objective?
That is a single armored sentinel on the top right objective, and that is no bueno.
Yeah, because that objective is contested now.
He's gonna hold it. He's gonna hold into a 4. I do see some intercessors on the bottom right objective. So
hiding
this is
on
gonna
one of the
be
lava flows.
just gonna be 4 points for Noah going into his bottom of 3.
Strategically standing on lava like you do.
Yeah, that's a good time. I mean, evidently they didn't play that game as a child. The floor is lava. They'd play in the opposite. We're like, yeah,
I am lava.
I am lava. Exactly right.
I mean, how else would you trade a Space Marine?
That's right. It's true. I mean, what else are they here for? They're doing the opposites. I would have to assume this is Ogryn attacking in combat.
Ooh, there's some ones.
That's some decent.
That's a dead chaplain. That's a dead chaplain.
Yeah. You love to see it. Up the Ogryn. Up the Ogryn.
More Ogryn. Crank the Ogryn to 11.
I love Ogryn. I love Ogryn. Yes. We're going to be drip feeding you guys the winners from the raffles so far, because stuff's already been given away right now. There is so much stuff to give that's already starting to flow. There is a Beast Snagger box set that has just been won by Bill Sherwin. So Serwon. So it's Serwin. Serwon. I am dyslexic as hell, and I apologize.
Sir won a box of Beast Snagger.
What is in that? Beast Snagger box set.
So that is a good question. I'm thinking if they're saying the Beast Snagger box set, that might be the limited edition Orc release that had the Beast Snagger boys, the Squigog boys, and the Codex in it. They also there is a box set for just 10 Beast Snagger boys and 3 Squigog boys and a Knob on Smash the Squig. But if they're saying the Beast Snagger box, I think it's the big box, the limited edition starter set.
Dude, if that's the big box,
that's a good start.
That's a great win.
Because Adam, I'm here to tell you that Goff Squighog boys might be real good.
Oh, yeah, buddy, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
Strength 8, 4 attacks, AP 2 damage on the Wog turn.
Yep, 5+ invuln as well, which does actually change things quite a lot. They're toughness 6, yeah.
Toughness 6, 3 wounds.
Yeah, it changes a lot. Changes a lot, man. It's huge. Yeah, I'm absolutely here for it. Looks like we have an Impulsor, which with 7 runes remaining. They're doing the right thing. They're counting down now, as you'll see.
Maybe John whapped him on the nose when we weren't looking.
Nah, Colin usually walks around Charity Hammer with a cattle prod just to keep all the miscreants in line, and he probably just tased him on the behind and said, shape up, son. Get it together.
Yeah, people are watching.
Yeah, travesty.
How dare you?
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, joining us in chat. Look what just got won. That is a big win. That is a big prize. We're not giving away nothings here. There is some incredibly awesome stuff.
And Adam, if folks wanted to get a chance to win, how could they do that?
By donating. For every $30 you donate to Charity Hammer, you get a ticket in the raffle.
Hold on. This is important. When Noah leans in, look at the top of his head. You see the dent?
Yeah,
you see the dent. I think he got whapped. He got whapped in the head.
He did. Look at it.
For doing count ups.
You counted up, and someone just dropped an elbow from the top. From the top.
Sorry to interrupt. That was an important update. How can folks win some of these beautiful prizes?
Go to charityhammer.com. The link I just chucked in the chat. The link should be absolutely everywhere for the next 4 days. Hit donate. Every single cent that you donate will go directly to the charity. Will not pass go. We'll not collect $200 straight to the charity. And yeah, please do. For every $30 you donate, you get into the raffle. Your ticket will stay perpetually in the raffle for every single draw. You have ability to win some incredibly awesome stuff.
Looks like we just got a donation from JK, $40. Thanks a lot, Jay. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
the children
Legend.
Appreciate it.
Legend should have rounded it up to 60 just to get another ticket, because why not? If you're going to go 40, why not?
And if you do, if you do another, it's cumulative, so it's not
cumulative. Every time you break,
if you donate 20 later, it's not like that's not going to get you a ticket. So
every time you hit another break point, another ticket in. It's a great system. They've got a down pat. This is the 4th one of these. So yeah, please give freely if you can. I know times are a bit tough for many out there, which makes things like this all the more important, because if it's tough for us out here, who've I'm an able-bodied, mid-30s bloke with a good job. And, if times are tough for me, I can only imagine what things would be like for a kid, undergoing medical treatment at the moment. Or let alone a family, who are
Having to deal
supporting a
with that,
child. Yeah.
Well, we do have a score update, it looks like. John has managed to get a pretty hefty chunk of secondary points. He's up to
Yeah.
16 on that.
Noah
And
is staying in touch though, which I'm quite impressed, because the board state has been heavily against him. But if he stays in touch, he can just at any point he can sling really quickly out of his impulses, because they can move, then you can disembark and move out of them. So he can grab all the objective last turn of the game if he has anybody still left.
So here's a question. If I'm Noah and my characters that have got out have died, and he can't psychic interrogate me if I'm in a transport, do you not get Tigurius out at this point?
Yeah, you pretty much just don't use your characters now.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't need them guys. They're gonna sit in here and shout encouraging words from inside their armored boxes.
You can interrogate one half of this nothing. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like Assassinate might be a win more secondary in this case, where if he can break through the meat wall and the sentinel wall and get to the characters, he was probably already going to be in the strong board state anyway. So if you break through them with enough time to mop up those characters, it might be a case of you already were going to win.
Yeah, yeah. There is a lot of that in this event, where it's like, I was pretty much already going to win.
So I don't know if I don't necessarily like win more secondaries, because if I'm in a tight game, like say 28 to 26, I want something that I can squeak a few points out of. I don't want something that either is a 0 or a 15.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't
15.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't want those binary. It's either exists or it doesn't. It's either won you the game or lost you the game.
I'm surprised that neither player took R&D.
Yeah, it does seem like one where you'd have a lot of opportunities. Like, I mean, Rattling's turn 1 can go and get you a bunch of R&D points.
And John could have outflanked something, which would have forced Noah to try to screen some backfield. And Noah's got a lot of stuff, but if he has to pick an impulsor and sit it back there to screen, that's not sitting forward and blocking objectives, So I wonder if maybe that might have been a better choice instead of Hammer of the Emperor, because I don't think that's a great one for John.
Yeah, is your stream frozen?
Yeah,
it is. It doesn't matter.
I mean, we've been told that it is mildly upset machine spirits, and they are currently lighting incense and chanting. But we're going to hop on over to game 2 and see what's hopping over there between Fred's Crimson Fist and Hank's Eldar. Also, angry machine spirits here, it seems.
Soothing balms and ointments are being applied as we speak, and many woosahs are happening to machine spirits. Yoga, in fact.
Adam, you asked me earlier if I were to write a horrible list, what would it be? I'm going to ask you now, if you were to write a horrible list, what would it be?
Oh, Mitch's guard list is very close to what I would have written. Like the worst army in the game, taking all the worst units in the worst army in the game. If not, I would have taken demons and just taken like great unclean ones and dumb crap like that are a bunch of points. You can't hide them and they don't do anything. That would have been something along those lines. I would have done like a vehicle heavy, great unclean one centric demons army monster mash. So like triple soul grinders, which don't do anything. Triple great unclean one, which don't do anything. And just been like, I am going to exist. Maybe. I am durable and you won't kill me, but I will not kill you, sir. And let us like cavort around these objectives that I do not have OBSEC for. And yeah, that would have been what I would have done.
I like it. I like it.
But there are a lot of bad armies you could make, right? For every
Yeah.
good army, for every like top tier army, like every S tier build, there's like 30 not good enoughs. Could you make a bad Tau army? What would that look like?
So in a bubble, yes. We were told like don't take a Tau army with all the crisis suits without guns. Because you could do that. You could just slap.
Uh,
Uh,
Stay here.
ooh,
Game
we
two's
are
fine.
back. We are back
We are
to running.
We are back online and full power, we have been told. We're watching the Hank and Fred game unfold. Looks like this was the go turn from Hank, and he has picked up an easy couple of units. Looks like he's cleared his deployment zone pretty effectively and starting to make a few inroads into clearing the mid-table blob. But sorry, back to that, Seth.
Yeah, I mean, so we were told to do things like, don't do something like that. So with that in mind, could you make a bad Tau list? I'm sure you could. Um, I think you might have done a podcast talking about an insane Kroot army.
Yes.
If you took out all the buffs away from that army, like didn't give it the warlord traits to
No
help it out,
ethereal. Yeah.
and no ethereal, and just were like, here's Kroot and Krootoxes. That definitely isn't going to be very durable. It's got a lot of obsec and it's fairly mobile. So I don't know if if it would be the worst list in this event, but you could definitely make it not great in a standard event.
Yeah, because you think about some of the bad Tau units, and in this kind of environment, you'd be like, yeah, like Riptides are pretty ordinary. You like take Riptides with all the wrong guns, and you're like, it just wouldn't die in this environment. It'd actually be fine. Like you think about a
Yeah.
Riptide with just a heavy burst cannon, and I suppose the Flamers are the worst pintle mounts or whatever you'd say. But they would shred intercessors. They'd actually just dunk intercessors all game.
Definitely.
And they'd actually do just fine.
Yeah.
Ghost kills, I don't know, sky rays, whatever the flyers do. I don't even know what they do. I hear the bomber's okay, the sun shark.
Yeah, I actually like the Sun Shark, and I think it may have play because it if you think about it in terms of the Ad Mech flyer, I forget which one that just drops bombs all the time. It's in that vein. It can drop bombs all the time.
Yeah, anything that can drop off like 5 mortals a turn and then have some gun is actually pretty respectable.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting a points update probably for the end of Hank's turn 2, I believe. We're probably going into the top of 3, I'd assume, because it looks like Fred scored at least one turn of 12 on primary, which is what I'd assume. So this should be the top of 3 if I was to make a guess from the table state. How do you feel like this one's going? Do you think this one's leaning Fred's way or Hank's way? What do you feel?
I don't know. Score wise, obviously, it's in Fred's favor. And Fred is a very good player. Hank is also a good player. I've played against both of them. I think I don't know how much mobility is left in the Eldar army at this point. And yeah, like the Crimson Fists have guns that aren't super helpful with the Imperial Fist doctrine, but they're still guns. And Eldar walking across the table just don't want to get shot at, regardless of what their data sheet says. I don't know if it's enough to take down the Wraith Guard. Are those Wraith Guard or Wraith Blades?
Wraith Blades. They are choppy.
Yeah,
They are choppy.
So, they're not gonna like getting hammered.
Who
if they get into
does?
combat? Yeah. So I don't know. I think right now, I'm leaning towards Fred. He's got the points advantage. Assuming they haven't probably calculated no prisoners or obviously that'll go up. But Fred's secondaries, Stranglehold, Oath, and Assassinate, those all like they walk hand in hand together, happily skipping across the meadow.
They do.
So he's got a lot of points to pick up there. He's in a strong position for the primary. Already being on a 30 primary is big.
Yeah, it really is.
That turn counter can't be right. Because that's how do you get 30 primary in one turn?
That's what I mean. This is the top of 3 for Fred.
So I mean,
that's his second 12. He's gotten 12 and 12 on his top 2 turns, and then he's got the bonus twice for the 15s.
Yeah. So I say he's in a real strong position there.
Well,
You know,
so
there's time left for Hank to make the primary gap up, but
yeah, I
I don't know if
think
it's
we
enough.
saw a bit of a flub occur in the top right. A unit of what looks to be 5 Wraith Blades went into 5 Intercessors and only killed 2.
Yeah, still there. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're still there. Still
that's a
fighting.
big flub. So that's if they fall back, if they're able to fall back, which they should if Fred can, and then they can turn off another turn of primary for Hank, giving him only a 4, that would be pretty dang god awful.
Yep. Not a good fit.
Somebody has asked you. This is Reloz 6. I'd love Seth to talk about the post nerf Tau. Lol. Oh wait, did they change the Eldar list? It is not. Oops, all Phoenix Lords. No, it is not. So they did change that. It was actually decided that list was the strongest of the pack and needed to be toned down because it was just oops, all Phoenix Lords and
I
actually.
believe that was
units.
from the Holy Order of Richard Siegler. He commanded that list be nerfed more.
Not even coming to the event.
Well, he did review last night. Colin and him reviewed the lists, and he shamed Sean verbally for writing that list.
Well, it's thematically awesome. It's every Phoenix Lord and one of every aspect warrior.
Yeah, it's
It's
thematically
absolutely
awesome. It's not bad, though.
amazing. It's actually not bad because, well, I think it's because of how many wounds. Having 6 wound gated infantry models that you can bodyguard and you can protect I think is actually quite potent.
And one of them just being Baharoth, period, is
Bullshitteroth, as I like to call him.
Yeah.
But would you like to talk to the post nerf Tau? Please.
So Adam, I was running a bit of a different Tau list. It had 18 crisis suits. You know, I wasn't a madman. I was running a bunch of crisis suits. I was running 18 shield.
You weren't doing the full Ogden, as I like to call it.
I wasn't, but I was running a custom set. Blocking tactics and play their part, which gave those suits 3 models apiece on an objective and obsec when they charge. And it worked very well. The problem is it may have gone up about 440 points, which is about 25% of that list. So that really, really, really put the damper on crisis suit builds. I actually was talking with Tom this morning. He still thinks there's a crisis suit build out there. He's lost all of his shield drones though in that list, and I am concerned. The Tau shooting is good, but it is not so good that I can throw one crisis unit out, shoot, kill something, and then lose that crisis suit unit and be as effective next turn. Part of what makes Tau work, I think, in my opinion, is I go out, I shoot, I kill something, you shoot me back, and you kill my drones, and my unit is still intact to keep shooting.
Yeah.
So
it's a non-trade trade. I come out and I trade for 2 to 3 units, and you trade for 1.
Yeah, it just and sometimes those 4-ups get hot, and then you lose like 2 drones or something in a turn, and it can just be crippling.
Dude, I shot, what was it? 2 Thunderstrikes, 2 Dark Talons, with the +1 to hit, by the way. I put the 2 CP +1 to hit on a crisis suit unit, so all these things was hitting on 2s. And a Talon Master with Arbiter's Gaze in Dev Doctrine into a crisis unit and just killed the 5 drones.
And sometimes those 4-ups get hot, and then
it's like a dead set 1,000 points shot and just killed the
It's a very, very strong mechanic, but without that mechanic, I think they're in a rough spot. And so, you know, you get into how many, you know, if you lose so many suits, and basically in my list, looking at, I'd have to lose like 2 or 3 suits, or at least 1 or 2 suits from each squad, and lose a fair and few drones. And at that point, are you losing enough volume that it falls below the critical mass of overwhelming firepower? So I think you're not going to see as many crisis suits running around. That being said, with the Nephilim changes, you're also not going to see that many more commanders. You're not going to see the 2 and 3 commander builds, just because you're talking multiple detachments. You're paying for all those warlord traits and relics. You have to have some CP to start the game. You just want that in the bank. So I think you're going to see kind of a narrowing of the top end of those HQs, probably down to just 1 ethereal, 1 commander. But you know what didn't get touched? Hammerheads,
man.
Hammerheads came out scot-free.
And you didn't really have a bunch of heavy support saturation.
Yep.
And with broadsides getting hit as well, I think hammerheads are the logical pivot. You take a battalion, it's got one commander, long strike, and an ethereal. If you want to go tower stepped, you can still go two commanders if you want to go farsight or custom farsight, and then
Yep.
it's breaches and crude. One big. I still like one fatty unit of crisis, and then I'm actually a big fan of two smalls, like two small bodyguard crisis units.
Mhm.
Be that 2-mans, 3-mans, pick your poison, and then 2 or 3 hammerheads, and then you've got you fill the rest out as you please. I think that archetype's savage still.
I think there's a lot of play there still. I think you're going to see those type of lists, plus with the devilfish and breachers, with the changes to aerial spotters, one of their secondaries, those units being able to complete at the end of the turn
Yeah, man.
makes it a
Yeah.
really strong combo there. So
Mhm.
I think you're going to see that running around a fair amount.
I
Yeah,
think
so
Tower. I think Tower are okay. I think they're
Yeah.
not. Some people are calling it a death knell. It's just a death knell for a single build, which was an all-in build on a single profile. Like when you're spamming a single profile and it gets hit, cool. Yeah, you do think the sky is falling, but that book
Yeah.
is very deep.
Yeah, there's plenty left there.
What do you think about the Storm Surge change? I still think one Borkane Storm Surge can be justified in the right meta, but the 3 Storm Surge build is dead and probably should be.
Look, I may have at some point recently have purchased 3 storm surges. And I may have bought all the conversion bits to make them real pretty. And I may have built one, and then I started messing around with that crisis suit build, and I was like, I'll come back to this army. Yeah.
Nah.
I
don't
haven't come back to that army.
I don't understand why people think they're awful at 400 points. I thought they were stupidly undercosted at 330 or whatever they were. But they're like, you compare them to a knight now still, you know?
Mhm.
Same toughness. How many wounds on a storm surge?
22.
22. 2 less wounds, 4 less against Mechanicum, but
But
you
they
have a
always have a 4
perma
up invuln.
4+ invuln. Like perma. Like that's so freaking big when you're talking about that. And you're still cheaper than an equivalent knight that has you're over 100 points cheaper than a freaking Crusader, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
only other knight with the equivalent shooting in the even comparable price band. And you're 50-60 points cheaper than the one gun and fist or sword knights. Why is this awful at 400 points? I don't understand. This is why I think 1 is still okay. The all-in triple build, I do think is a bit of a meme now, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing that one too much. So
Thank you to everybody in
unfortunate.
chat. Brian Aragon, what up to you too, sir? So we still have all the tabletop. Best in Tabletop has chimed in. I believe that's probably Colin or our man behind the mirror. It said it's still all the Phoenix Lords, just replaced a bunch of the Aspect Warriors with Wraith Blades. The initial build was just too strong. I actually think the opposite there. I think if they were going to replace anything, maybe replace the Banshees and the Scorpions. But the rest of the Aspect Warriors are fine. I'd get freaking Karandris and Baharoth out of that list immediately.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
They're just, those two are so strong.
They're so strong. It looks like we're just going to be going through a bunch of bolter shooting at the moment, trying to shred those Wraith Blades. Look, we did see the fallback happen in the top right quadrant against the Wraith Blades with the 3 intercessors. So we might hit a transition and go back to our table 1 game, see what's unfolding there. What is your first impressions upon our triumphant return, my man?
Oh boy, let's take a look at this. We have the meat wall's looking thin. Not gonna lie.
I was going to assume it was.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we've got a couple of intercessor units that hopped out and swung them big hammers around. Looks like is John doing some punching back? Because it looks like Noah just pulled a model and put a wound on a guy.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm seeing as well. Look, intercessors are surprisingly good when you don't have an armor save, right?
Hold on. Look at these models in the upper left. Are those Guardians? Eldar Guardians?
No.
They look like it. I'm real confused.
Who has 30 rattlings? Do you own 30 rattlings? That's what I assume.
No,
I
okay,
assume they're rattlings.
fair enough. And
yeah,
then there's
clearly,
definitely skinks back there now too. Now that I'm
yeah,
looking closer, there are
yeah.
definitely skinks running around.
I made a concerted choice to not bring that up when I saw them
Well,
before. I was like, let's just pretend. Let's stretch our imaginations,
look,
everybody.
that's how good their camouflage is.
It is.
Okay,
Yeah, the rattling
that's
is
how
just
good it
next
is.
level. They've got the freaking Galadriel cloaks from Lothlorien. They're
All
like,
right, so we're in. I guess we're in John's. John went first, so we're in the top of 4.
it's either the bottom of 3 with Noah just scoring his primary. Oh, sorry, you're saying John's moving model, so it must be a top of turn. You're
Well,
correct.
that says round. John's round 4 on the top.
Yeah, we're
So that's
we're
right.
probably into the smite phase
So
for
if
John.
yeah.
Look,
Noah's looks like he's going to be sitting on an 8 primary.
yeah,
When he starts his turn.
Noah just pretty much needs to stabilize. As long as if Noah
Yeah.
can just stay in touch, like
Yeah, I mean, he's
not
only down by 2.
yeah, as long as he stays in touch, he just flips the primary on the bottom of turn 5 and probably wins by 6, 8
Yeah,
points.
just keep killing off that meat wall to get your
Yeah.
more no prisoner points.
Well, now that the
Um,
meatball is committed, keep it committed there. Like start tapping it with impulses here, there, and everywhere. Like make it have awkward angles to shoot and pile in and fight. Because I mean, legitimately, the wait, he's still Legion, yeah. So we can't even make his stuff obsec with Cadia. Because so Cadians have a stratagem to make vehicles obsec and count as 5, and a sneaky trick that I've pulled off before is using Scout Sentinels, which when you spend the CP count as 15 obsec models. It can flip objectives really, really well. But you can't even do that because it's still Legion, which I think does literally nothing for this army, by the way.
yeah, I think that was the intention.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought Mitch? Who would have thought the devious Mitch Pelham would do something crazy like that? Christopher Irvine, the Rattlings are cosplaying as better units.
I love it.
Amazing.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, there is an Outward Realms game happening right now on the Outward Realms YouTube channel, which is also happening at Charity Hammer. We have the wonderful Michael Timpe, an amazing gentleman in the scene, and just a lovely, lovely guy. The primogenitor of the Outward Realms tabletop game. Another great one to support if you're all inclined or curious. But yeah, please jump over and donate. Watch whatever stream makes sense to you and that you enjoy, guys. There is a plethora of content coming hot and heavy all weekend.
Hot and heavy.
The heaviest and the hottest.
I hear from folks on the ground that it is supposed to be warm in the Pacific Northwest this weekend. So that might be a literal statement there.
Yeah, exactly right. What's the hottest? Actually, sorry, where do you live, Seth?
I live in Alabama.
I know I've asked you before. That's right, Alabama. Whereabouts?
I live in Auburn, which is kind of like mid level of the state, about 2 hours from Atlanta.
Nice. That's not too bad.
Yeah, but if you're talking about heat, last week we reached a heat index of 104.
Ooh, nice.
I was not here. I was in Alaska. Where it was 60. And I was like, wow, sucks for you guys. I'll be here.
104 is not that bad by Australian standards. That's warm, not hot. Not even like we wouldn't even call that hot. But I can understand that is oppressive when it comes out of nowhere. Like that first one of the year, you're just like, Jesus, merciful, nothing. Can I take my skin off? Can I please take the skin off?
Please remove thy skin.
Yep. Is it so bizarre that I want to play Impulses now? I want to you know what? I've got 3 painted Impulses. I could find an excuse. And
yeah, I think it is. I think that's a fever dream. I think
absolutely
the heat has gotten to you.
It is. It's distorting my perception of reality because Impulses are not a thing. How many points could they have gotten down? They could have gone down 20 points, I reckon. 90 points pre-war gear on Impulses is not unreasonable.
No, I think they could have. Yeah, 90 points wouldn't have been bad. I think you could have pushed it even more to like 80. Because the question is, what are you putting inside them that is so
that has value? Yeah, that has any value. Mind you, I did a bit of a deep dive with some mates for teams events on what's the Castellans of the Rift? They can make a couple of Impulses feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Because they can scout move 1 and then have the contents turn obsec and have a 6-inch heroic intervention, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Like putting 5 or 6 obsec blade guard on your opponent's home objective, like top of turn 1, that heroic 6 and a obsec, like it's freaking a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I could see that.
Is it funny that I think that the Hammer of the Emperor has like the wells run dry on the Hammer of the Emperor points? Like
Yep.
John might have gotten 3 or 4 points, and that's it. That's probably going to stay around there.
And that's why I felt like that was the weakest secondary. That's why I was thinking like R&D or something would have been better, because you R&D 2 table quarters, there you're 4, you're about as much. And if you can
Yeah.
sneak that into the backfield and get another one, boom, you're at 8. That might be the difference in this game.
Well, funnily enough, R&D is actually really the 6 impulses with intercessors in it is actually a really good R&D army.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could all that could have been a great. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
interested to see the actual points breakdown, but I don't think Noah's secondary choice was that bad.
Nah, I think it's good.
Except for the assassinate, like I said, which is a win more, but
I
he
think
might be on his path to win more.
John's playing the meme for the meme gods
Yeah.
with his secondary picks. Interrogate Hammer of the Emperor and assassinate. He's like, yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. This thing's not going to be decided that by points that much.
Yeah.
Shed the Skin and Max Impulse from Nurgle Matthew. Valerie, Cadians are cheating with Eldar. Finally saw the superior race. Heartily disagree. Monkai for the win. Monkai? Whatever.
Okay.
Dirty Monkey.
Dirty Eldar.
Yeah. Is Eldar called him Monkai? What do the Tau call him?
Guavesa?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I love the Monkey. Filthy.
What's going on here? Are we charging ratlings into an impulsor?
Yes. That is the meme. You're living the meme, dying by the meme. Why not? Why not, boys? Get stuck in. Kill it.
See,
Who cares?
You asked earlier, do I enjoy these types of games? And this is the moment that I'm like, we are banking the chance of winning a game on ratlings charging impulsors to tie them up.
I love everything about it. Everything about it. I mean, because what I love even more about it is that those ratlings are absolutely annihilated by the shooting of one impulsor will kill 10. Like good odds to kill 10 ratlings.
It's forcing the bullets into them.
It's true, and it's forcing the movement more than anything else.
And it looks like what do we got going on here? Some Ogren coming down here and punching on that objective.
Yep.
Is there anything in that bottom intercessor?
Impulsor? No, it doesn't look like it. Mind you, there was a unit of 3 guys behind that.
Yeah, I think I see 6 marine bodies, maybe 5 marine bodies.
I see about the same.
So, I mean, if he has the volume to clear this objective of bodies, I don't know necessarily what's gonna. Maybe there's some guys in that middle impulsor that could come down.
Yeah, there's definitely guys in the middle impulsor, but he kind of wants to harbor his strength now for the bottom of turn. Like he's at the point where if he invests and lets more intercessors get eaten, he loses his ability to get to 12 at the end of the turn and swing the game back. So he's at a risk of being bled out, which is not something I expected to say this game.
Yeah.
Like, because essentially he started with 6 impulsors. He has 3 left. He's at half strength right now. Or worse, because we don't know the character situation. I can see at least one character, I believe, still alive. Or it might just be a Thunderhammer Sergeant that I'm looking at. Rattling. Go, boys. There's only 6 of them, dude. 6 champions.
They got this.
Rattling.
They got this.
They do.
Heroes of the Imperium, all. 8
Stormbolter shots shooting into the combat. Hitting on 3s, killing on 2s.
Oh, we're pulling the mission up. Oh. We're checking the mission book.
Please don't, boys. There's nothing to see there.
That to me, I feel like that's got Noah's scratching his head for a minute. He's looking for where he can pull some points out of the.
It was like, where do I even go from here?
Yeah.
There's still so many Ogren. Look at what did you call it?
The meat wall.
The meat wall. The meat wall is still in full effect on the bottom right-hand objective, the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah. There is what looks to be a full unit of Ogren still there. They're just mobbed down onto that objective.
They are not going anywhere.
Mind you, their ability to kill intercessors is god awful. Absolutely in armor of contempt, absolutely tragically bad. Just got to drown them in attacks. I think they have 4 each. I think there's 4 each.
They have 3 base and 4 on the charge, I think.
Yeah. That's what I'm remembering from the battle
That'll
days.
do something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of dice will be thrown, but he's just gonna have a 3 up. And if he's got CP for transhuman, it doesn't look like he does, by the way. What? 8 guys, 4 attacks apiece. 30 is that 32 attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, 32 going into 3s. So what's that? About 21 hits, and then winding on, let's say 3s again. So 16, 15 wounds, maybe we'll go 14 wounds, and then 3 ups. Yeah, you kill 2 dudes. Yeah, 2 and a bit dudes. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Except the Thunderhammer's left, and it kills like 3 back, and then you found morale. Rough day at the office.
Yeah, that's not a great day.
Is it freaking wild that it's like Ogryn versus the most basic Space Marines ever, and it's still a rough day at the office?
I mean, Space Marines are what they are. Like they are the Emperor's sword.
Finest. The elite of the elite.
Ogryn are like the mutants we tolerate.
Looks like he's got 3 wounds to go through in that combat, by the way, if we missed it. So yeah, all those Ogryns, 3 wounds went through. Just bad. Bad, sad, bad. Well, I mean, I don't even know what they can do, apart from a total rewrite of the data sheet. I don't know what they can do to make Ogryn relevant. Bulgrin,
I mean, they are planning on a total rewrite of the data sheet because there's a new codex coming.
They're better. Legitimately though, Bulgrin could just get another rend, and they're probably absolutely fine. If they had rend 2, I think that should be 4 wounds, by the way, as well. Toughness 5, 4 wounds. Yeah, rend 2 instead of rend 1 would make all the difference for Bulgrin. Ogryn, I have no idea what you do. As long as they've got a 4-up armor save, they're trash. They're so trash. Like they're just a Tyranid warrior without the good combat. I mean, sorry. All right, you ready to go down an awful rabbit hole?
All right, let's go.
All right, an Ogryn compared to a Tyranid warrior. Tyranid warrior now costs 30 points. Ogryn is 25 points. Ogryn has the same toughness, the same wounds, and the same armor save. Doesn't have any ability to get an invulnerable save. Whereas Leviathan has a lot of ability. Does have any ability to get transhuman. Leviathan has a lot of ability to get transhuman. Its gun has no rend. The same 3 shots as Death Spitter, but no rend. Whereas Death Spitter is rend 2. And in melee, they can only have strength 5, rend 1. Whereas a Tyranid warrior can have up to strength 8 minus 2 damage on bone swords. And I think the same 4 attacks, if buffed right, with Kraken. Is that right?
Yeah, I feel like someone's thrown that many dice at me once or twice.
Yeah, like what a oh, yeah, and Obsec. Just put cherry on top, and Obsec and Fearless on the Tyranid Warriors. Just the cherry on top for that comparison, guys. That is how far data slates have come since the Guard Codex was out.
Look, I think it's just it's always going to make you feel bad comparing data slate to data slate, from different codexes. Just look in your own codex and be happy. And I'm waiting to see what this dice goes down on top of this impulsor.
Yeah, me too. That's the I want to see 2 wounds done. Hitting on 5s, wounding on 6s, 2 wounds. I mean, they've got 1 attack each. So
down to 6.
Literal 6 attacks,
9.
hitting on
9.
5s, wounding on 6s. They shouldn't even do a wound.
It's at 9. Somehow they did something. They scratched the paint.
Christopher Irvine, what about Ogryn's versus Claude Fiends? Which one's worse there? I argue the Claude Fiend might just be worse. I might just be worse with that one.
But isn't the Claude Fiend in the Drukhari book?
Yes, we are still comparing the. Well, you can't even say apples to oranges. You need like apples to like a vegetable, something not even in the same, like not even a fruit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had hashtag meat shield wall last Charity Hammer. We're gonna have hashtag meat wall from this one.
Meat wall will do it. I believe in meat wall.
I believe in the meat wall. Back in the meat wall.
Chat Chat, are you backing the meat wall, chat?
Yeah, where were you when the meat wall was formed?
Yep.
I was here. There could be a cool strat to like it just says scrum, like like a rugby scrum, where like the meat wall forms. Like you get 2 units of Bulgarin, and they all, as long as they're all touching bases, they like get an extra toughness or something. I love that stuff.
I believe it.
He needs to go and get those Tanith first and only. He needs to go get those Gaunt's Ghosts and just
I'm
and
telling
max
you,
that.
it was a win more. It was a win more secondary.
Well, we have just seen the primary updated for Noah, and he has just made the lead on this game.
Ooh.
Is 36 to 224 going into the bottom of turn 4. So yeah, man, there is some points here, there, and everywhere. So that is 24 on the primary. And notice what's winning for it right now. Sorry, what's winning for it right now is reasonable secondaries versus meme lord secondaries, which is what John has taken.
Reasonable secondaries and adequate data sheets.
Yes, versus neither of those things.
We have got the librarian out. Tiggy is out on the field. That
yeah.
could be some more psychic interrogate and assassinate points.
I'm pretty sure he's of the opinion this game isn't going to be won or lost by those 2 secondaries.
But
Which
that's 7 points there because Tiggy's the warlord.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, 7-point swing. That's actually
7 points would put John back in the lead.
in front. Yeah, exactly right. It'd be amusing if that came to bite him in the butt.
Is there are there some rattlings that can take aim?
Yeah. There are actually. There's 2 units of rattlings still on this table.
That's 20 strength 4 shots.
Do it.
At Tiggy.
Do it. Do it, boys. 1 CP Bulgarin dog pile. Every model rolls a 2+, 31 mortal wounds to units they're in combat with. That'd be cool. I'd love that. Meatwall getting some hype in chat also. We're here for it. Thank you very much. Hashtag Meatwall.
Hashtag Meatwall.
Do we have a player in the GT that can take up this mantle should our champion of the Meatwall in John fall? Like the meatwall cannot die. It needs to continue for the entire charity.
I feel like if we hop back over, I think you could probably call the Crimson Fist army Meatwall as well, because it is also just a pile of bodies walking forward.
It is. It doesn't have the girth of the Ogryn, though.
It doesn't, but I don't know. I mean, the wraiths aren't really meat; they're bone.
Yeah, bone wall, construct wall.
I mean,
it doesn't have the ring. It doesn't have the ring.
We're back on the other game. But I mean, there's some meatiness there. It's got a hard outer coating. It's like M&Ms. They melt in your mouth, not in your hand. But it does look like we've got a pretty significant lead at this point for Fred. He's up 20 points.
They the Skittles.
Hank.
Is it the Crimson?
They're the
Skittles?
meat pies. Meat pies. Crispy crust, juicy meaty center.
We don't have the ability to stop people.
They're taking us away from that game. They're like, no, stop talking about meat pie. Go back to meat wall.
But why would Tiggy be coming out, do you think?
He's moved Tiggy in such a way that he is being blocked by another impulsor. So I don't know. Maybe you can draw a line with some of the rattlings and catch Tiggy's butt.
It looks like he wants to finish off that unit of Ogryn on the middle objective.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's get some smite power there. Yeah, I don't know what other powers Tiggy has, but doing some mortal wounds is always a good.
I know he's got.
Tiggy's also not horrible in combat.
Yeah, he's not. He's not at all. I know he's got Psychic Fortress. I'm just trying to think.
Why has he pulled all of his intercessors off of the objective on the bottom right?
Because he just scored for his top of 4. So he doesn't score again until the bottom of 5. So he can leave the objectives now. Doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. But that's giving John primary points.
As long as he clears them off, I guess.
Yeah, he's got to clear that off.
So he's got wrong Libby. I was thinking about the Libby in the Imperial Fist army. He's got precog, empiric channeling, and psychic shackles. I don't know what any of those do because they're all
same here. But I know what he does have is smite.
Definitely has smite. Anybody who can enlighten us, please
chat. Tell us the insane concept that is those psychic powers.
Yeah. Any updates on Nathan's game? As just pointed out by Best in Tabletop, the game hasn't started yet. He's up next. He was
don't
enjoying
worry.
some
We'll be,
sun some minutes ago, so we'll be calling the Naden game up next.
we'll be having a good show with that one because I'm gonna love to see what that orc list does.
Agreed. We able to actually switch over to the Hank and Fred game for a couple of minutes. I just want to get a quick call and update there. Thank you very much, my dudes. Yeah, Fred is somewhat pulling ahead now. A nice 20-point lead. A lot of that being on the primary. Which we knew with Fred going first and flooding that many OBSEC bodies and having such a supremacy of OBSEC was always going to be really hard for Hank to dig him off. And in addition to that, looks like we've had a dogpile of race going on to the middle, but then Fred's responded by doubling down and sending
Yeah.
more units to the top right to saturate that objective.
Yeah, and yeah, is there anything on the bottom right objective?
Looks like we've got a unit standing behind the wall. We've got at least a wound counter there that I can see,
Oh,
which
yeah,
would
yeah,
lead me to
yeah,
believe
yeah.
there is something
Okay, I
back
was
there.
like, there better be something back there because if
Yeah.
Hank completely left that, that's gonna be a bad day.
It is. Looks like we've charged. Looks like Fred
More
has
Wraith
charged.
Blades, yeah.
No, he looks like Fred's charged off the top right objective onto the Wraith Blades. He's dogpiling the Wraith Blades. Maybe he realized that they're more of a threat than he thought, or he had his shooting
No,
phase and was
I
like,
believe that unit that just moved was a that dark unit. They're on 40s. I think those are Wraith Blades from Hank.
"Oh, okay,
So Hank charged off that top objective into
yeah."
midfield. So he's got 3 units of Wraith Blades hitting that midfield objective.
Who thought this list was soft? Who thought this was softer than the Aspect Warriors?
Yeah, because
Del-
Hank is the player on the top of our screen, like
yeah,
reaching across.
there's a lot
Fred's
of
on the bottom.
there's a lot of grinding power in 3 units of Wraith Blades.
Yeah, yeah. I
When
mean,
the
you can only make Eldar so bad.
That's
Right?
that is very true. That is a very true statement, my dude. Like even if you took like just a bunch of their worst data sheets, like if you took 3 units of Dark Reapers, there is a point where you hit a critical mass that actually is a good again. Like you just hit enough strength 8 shots that they are good. Or that they more not that they're good, that they bring value.
Yeah.
Justin Randolph, or just one stream this year? No, one main stream that we're gonna be. So I haven't told you guys the format for this year. We're gonna have one main stream with the commentary duo or single, depending on who's available, and then we've got dedicated streams for the other table. So just been told about by Best in Tabletop in the chat. There's a dedicated stream for a table will be live during the GTs. So during the GTs, you're going to have some ability to watch the game that you want to play, or stick with us in the commentary side of things, and hopefully have the entertainment and the commentary color. And while we jump around from game to game, giving you those
definitely you're going to want the color because this is where the color's at.
That's right. Who wants to listen to some dreary
Who wants to
top name
listen? Yeah,
players?
top tier players explaining their new
Bah.
lists and the new points with the
Nah.
new missions and the new balance data slate. Who wants to hear that? You want talking heads.
That's right. That's right. You want two. Well, actually, you've been having a great season, mate.
Yeah, I've been having a pretty good run of it. Yeah.
Are you still in the top 10 in the RTC?
No. I don't think I ever got. I don't think I only have like 3 or 4 scores. I haven't.
Oh, really?
I'm doing a budget version of Siegler, which is I'm only attending like a handful of events. I'm just not going to win them all.
Yeah, fair. Budget Siegler. That's got to be a term. That's got to catch on. Please let that catch fire.
I mean, Siegler basically found the cheapest way to win the ITC, I think.
It's never been done before, and I don't know if it'll ever be done again, because that is an absolute aberration.
Unless someone can find a way to do it with 5 events, I don't think we're...
Yeah, because he only had 1 stinker.
Yeah.
Poor Eldar, so Valerie, poor Eldar, after they removed the last, they will receive nerfs. Yeah. So Eldar have had the 3-tier hit now, whereas their best secondary combination just got nerfed. They still have great secondaries though. Their points got updated, their CP got reduced, and now their rules have changed. Like, so fire and phase once per game. The auto 6 battle focus is now just a re-roll the dice for the battle focus. So they're gonna have to change dramatically. I think the best build that they have that remains powerful, I think, is Nick's style list, because it was already a battalion, so it got the best of the CP changes. In addition, it saved you CP by the use of the webway gate, putting things in reserve, and it had the flexibility of having just a bunch of different units rather than all inning one thing and trying to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Nick's list.
Is it crazy to me that I feel like the Crimson Fists are are starting to thin on the ground, but it might be too late? Like Fred might be too far ahead.
They definitely are. I mean, they're going to lose that midfield objective, which isn't going to be fantastic for them for Oath and Stranglehold. But they have enough in the back that I think they can just throw a feeder unit up there every turn.
Yeah,
and retake that objective.
I think they've entirely lost their ability to contest Hank's side of the board, but that damage is done already. It's already done. If he could just hold Hank off a 12 in Hank's turn 4, that's fine. He will still win on the primary, because he's gotten 2 15s. Like Fred has gotten double 15s, like 12 and a 12, and plus the 3 bonus. If he just gets 8s from here, he maxes.
I don't know where Fred's at on Assassinate, but he can definitely score a good chunk more on Oath and Stranglehold.
Yeah.
I think the clock is running out on Hank scoring significant amounts for Scout the Enemy and Behind Enemy Lines.
Yeah, agreed. Behind Enemy Lines, it's a questionable choice. He may not have felt like he had any better recourse. I honestly, rather than take Behind Enemy Lines, I mean, I love the combo of Scout the Enemy and Behind Enemy Lines together. They are very good. Like one unit of Rangers goes into the backfield, does the action for 3 points, gets 2 points on Behind Enemy Lines, 5 points for a unit of Rangers. Amazing value. But I do think a Psychic secondary would have been just fine here. But I just remembered he took no Psychics because he's got Phoenix Lords.
Right.
Never mind me. How about Engage? Would Engage have been better? But I mean, it just means you have to feed like all your small units.
I think rather than Behind Enemy Lines, you've got those big blocks of Wraith that probably the first turn or two maybe not have been doing much. I'm going to say it again. R&D? Question mark? Can you hear me?
Between the myriad of characters and the big Wraith blobs, what gets R&D? What actually makes R&D just getting the 4 points and being happy?
Doesn't he have
it?
Scouts there? Aren't those Scouts?
He's got 2 units. He's got 2 units of Rangers. Yeah.
Rangers. I mean, you put, if you have to put some stuff into strategic to make Hank, hide his backfield a little bit better. Which, I mean, did he put anything into strategic?
I would have had to assume that Hank put the Rangers in strategic, right?
But I've not seen anything come out into Fred's backfield.
Well, he blocked it out. He completely blocked it out. We saw he was leaving multiple units back to zone it out, which, I mean, it does make me assume that it was a misplay in hindsight, but you didn't know that at the time.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because right now you're getting almost nothing for those. If you at least R&D your side of the table, you at least get 4.
Oh, Valerie, my sweet summer child, had not seen the balanced data slate. I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I will prep my small violin for you. When you are ready, you let me know. I'll bring it out and then you can have a rant in the Twitch chat while I serenade you. No tears shall be shed by me.
Some tears.
Honestly, it seems like to me, Eldar got the Custodes treatment. They got hit as bad as hard as Custodes did initially, whereas Custodes lost all their obsec, all their best strats got kind of annihilated. It feels like the same. They nuked the play style. They didn't target the units. They targeted the play style of Eldar, and it's been a significant change. But yeah, Valerie, hopefully you're sitting down. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea or coffee. Hopefully nothing hot or sharp is around you, because like if you strike the table in frustration, yeah.
I was thinking more fragile. Nothing fragile, you don't.
Yeah, nothing fragile. We don't want anything breakable nearby. Custodes did get points nerfs. They just got the Galatas, the Achilles, and Trajan got hit by 40 points.
Poor Trajan.
Yeah, not as crazy as what the Eldar, well, not as holistic as what the Eldar points increases, but significant nonetheless.
Yeah.
Well, their 2 best things got hit pretty hard, essentially. But I genuinely didn't think custodians were undercosted, like points wise. I thought they were just fine points wise. It was the rules I felt like were a bit erroneous. Like as
Yeah,
long as
and
they,
with the rules changes they made, like you saw the win rate drop pretty quickly on Custodes, so I
well,
thought that was enough.
how do you feel about this statement? With the biggest issue that I had with Custodians is that as long as they had CP, they were invincible. Like they could just have 1 or 2 units of their army
Yeah.
that were impossible to kill. Nobody has enough CP for that anymore to do that for multiple turns. So, do you think they could unshackle those stratagems again? Because they're expensive stratagems. They're 2 CP strats now, I believe. Well, if they're not, they should maybe just put them up to 2 CP per use, no matter what unit, and then just take off the once per game restrictions. Because ain't nobody can drop 4 CP a turn to keep their stuff alive for more than 1 turn of the game now.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, I mean, if I'm trying to think of how many CP they spend pre-game. So they take a patrol, our battalion, make it free. They usually had multiple guys running warlord traits and relics. So they're only probably starting with 2 or 3 CP. So yeah, I mean, I think you could let them do it multiple times now and just say, hey, you've got to try to make it work with the CP amount because you're only gonna get 2 per turn. So you pop that big combo turn 1, and maybe you only get it once every battle round instead of multiple times a turn. I don't think that'd be too bad.
Do you so it's just been mentioned by Relos, said super disagree. Halo Doom didn't get touched very much. I think Ulthway got hit much harder. How do you feel about that statement?
Ulthway got hit points wise.
Yeah, it did.
Because a lot of things in that list got hit. Actually, our esteemed leader Colin was talking about yesterday that a lot of stuff in his list went up in points. But the Hail of Doom didn't get a lot of their units increased. They didn't see the Wind Riders go up. You didn't see the Avengers go up
by much. Yeah, Avengers went up 1 point. Like
so
it's.
But Hail of Doom, like we said, losing access to ignore cover, that might be enough. If armies can leverage that, it's hard to say. I think they're probably neck and neck.
The Wind Riders not getting touched only makes sense now that we've seen that you can't fire and fade them or keep them safe perpetually. Yeah. Now it makes sense. Like it actually does make sense that they didn't smack them with the point stick. Because if they went up and they lost all the fire and fades and like protection ability, then it actually gets quite awkward for that unit. We are going to hit back over to the John Lennon game.
Hearing hot shenanigans are in play.
Yeah, the game is afoot or a feet or even
the meat wall still seems to be intact.
Meatball stands. Meatball strong.
Looks like Noah charged back on to steal that objective from John, with that unit of intercessors.
Mm-hmm. The gap is closed. Was it a 2 or 3 point difference? Now it's a 1 point difference.
So what are we doing here for John? John he's tried to cover his objectives. He's trying to block Noah from getting anywhere. Well, Noah's going to get at least a 4, probably an 8.
John just needs to stop Noah getting the 12. Like the issue is Noah can just from this position. John's already scored for his turn 5 primary by the looks of things, so he's sitting on a square 24 that will not go up. Noah by default will get more primary than John, so he'll end on a minimum 28, like minimum 28. I don't see how John stops him getting 4. Most likely he gets 8.
Yeah, I mean literally that unit of intercessors sits on the top right objective and
4 points. 4 points.
And then if he fall back from combat and sit on the bottom objective, boom, he's got 8.
4 points from that, and any one character dies. Like kill one of the freaking.
All right, he's got Tiggy down to a few wounds. I think we're in shooting and or psychic.
It has to be shooting now. Yeah.
That was not a good roll from John.
If he does kill Tiggy, that's 4 more points for John. So he'll sit on a square 50. He'll get a kill point as well on Hammer of the Emperor. So he'll sit on a nice 51. I love that I'm saying a nice 51. Nobody should be expecting anything above 80 points for any of these matchups.
That looked like a CP reroll on a wound there. 201. I think John's fishing for the
kill.
any and all possibilities to get that Tigerius killed.
Well, it's so many points. It's the last decent point stump he's going to have available to him. Apart from that, all he needs to do is do whatever he can to stop the primary score of Noah. If Noah controls 3 objectives, it's a 15-point swing games. It's just don't even play turn 5 if you can't stop Noah getting a 15. Getting a 12.
If I'm John, do you charge those ratlings into the intercessors and try to wrap them in so they can't leave that objective on the bottom?
You do everything.
Fall back?
You make every charge. You put everything on every objective, so he can't shoot, can't fall back. Just take away any efficiencies he's got. Just continue what you've been doing. The meat wall come forth and conquers. We believe
the meat wall meets.
So Sean Richley has asked, but why did they smack scatterbikes then? So if we followed my train of thinking, which is giving G-Dub a lot of props, it is being very generous to G-Dub and saying they've got a lot of foresight with this stuff. If you take away the ability to keep scatterbikes safe by fire and fading and battle focusing, the only other way to shoot them and keep them safe is to have them out of range, and that is what scatterbikes give you over shuriken bikes. So scatterbikes, you could take the same 2 or 3 inch scatterbikes, and then you could sit them on the back of the board. They're 36-inch range. Just use range to keep them safe then, which then would extrapolate, hey, maybe scatterbikes become the value pick now. I don't agree with that. I think that is being very generous to G-Dub's foresight, which would be much more than they've ever shown, ever. But that would be the only logic I could see for it, mate.
I just noticed that there are intercessors on that bottom left objective.
Yes, I thought I saw them there. I was about to point that out. If you can't kill them at a minimum, like, the game is cooked, absolutely cooked. And we thought turn 3 this could go either way, right? We thought if Noah harbors his strength, it's his game. It's absolutely his. If he just sits 3 units of 5 guys, the bare minimum amount of guys, and keeps 2 or 3 units safe in impulses,
I believe we are seeing Gaunt's Ghost try to charge in on Tiggy.
Yeah, boy, do it! Oh my god, do it! Be absolute legends, be absolute champions. Good lord.
It looks like they're just trying to figure out the measurement here.
This is a question for the best in tabletop guys. What changes have they implemented in the GT later in view of the changes? How much are we best in tabletop lads? What are we adopting from the changes? Are we getting the full?
My understanding for the main GT, it is the full Monty.
I am.
They were writing lists this morning.
Exactly. I think I don't know, through hell or high water, Charity Hammer has hit in such a way that you guys, the viewers, get 40 hours of premium top table content, including this game, the Meat Wall, yes, showcasing the best and brightest of our community on the cutting edge of the new meta. So, man, if you've got nothing much to do this weekend, or you're going to be in and out, leave Charity Hammer on, come in, check out what some of the best players in the world are doing, sling a couple of bucks, win some stuff, enjoy the commentary, enjoy the chats. It's going to be freaking wild. We're going to see the new meta coalesce in front of our eyes.
Oh yeah. Interesting day.
And good job to Charity, to the best in tabletop guys for being so flexible, being so accommodating, and just being willing to shackle themselves to the madness that has been the last week and a half.
There's been a lot going on.
What's your favorite change that has come recently from all the new content, and what's your least favorite change, mate? And people in chat, give us your favorite and least favorite as well.
It's going to be controversial. But I like the CP changes.
You're crazy.
Because I told you it was going to be controversial. All right. I told you. That's what I said. But it's because of how much it affects list writing.
Mm.
We're like, without significant points changes, I was still looking at how do I fundamentally rewrite my Tau list, because I just can't afford to start with no CP. I think it definitely hurts a lot of armies, that didn't need to be hurt, and so I'm hoping that maybe down the line we see a little bit of adjustment, changing CP costs on certain stratagems. Now that CP are at such a premium, but it has such a drastic effect on list building.
It really does. And then you got the lack of the elastic band effect of paying for the Waller traits as well. Like even if it was just one or the other, you could kind of get away with it. Like they could even have done like it's 2 CP for your first, so you get your first free relic and Waller trait, but the first one you want to purchase is doubled. Like it's 2 CP for each extra, and then starting at 6. Because the only thing that bothers me about the changes is the lack of flavor. I feel like it encourages more homogenous list building rather than people adding their own spice and tech, which I feel like we already lost a bunch of when we had the you have to write down everything on your list change going into 9th edition. So this, to me, it feels like a more of a getting closer and closer to playing chess. But I am here for it, and I'm actually excited. Well, it's reinvigorated my list building. Especially for Dark Angels. Like I was at a point where I had like 3 Dark Angels builds, and they were just kind of, the archetype was locked in at about 1600 points of the lists were always locked in, which was getting quite boring. But yeah, now it's totally back to the drawing board. Some reading from the chat. JK's favorite change is dropping to 6 CP. Least favorite is paying for the Warlord traits and relics. Classy Backham. Least favorite, Harlequins losing their luck rerolls. Best change, Necron command protocols. 6 CP seems fair. Not every army has a Reaper of whatever or a reroll or hits or wounds more than Val, etc. So they don't need to pay. Yeah, totally agree. Last one. Crombos 152. Best change is Eldar Hemlock up in points. That thing was way overpowered.
Definitely. You start just smashing all the top tables.
Just a annihilation machine. Fair enough. Yeah, Valerie's just catching up in the Twitch chat. Valerie's just catching up with the Eldari changes. Yeah. Hopefully that's not a rough day at the office for you, mate.
Rip.
Rip rolly. Like, yeah, absolutely rough. Meatwall. Oh, is it crumbling? Is it holding still? I'm seeing some Ogrins being removed. Looks like we're down to 5 or 6.
That's the job of the meat wall. That's the job of the meat wall.
They're down to about 6 in the bottom right-hand corner. You think
it looks like Tiggy's down?
Yeah, it looks like Tiggy is down, so there's a bunch of points.
Points have not been updated on the secondaries, so points might not be accurate.
Yeah, minimum John's got another 4 points coming from killing of Tiggy. 4 for assassinate because he was the warlord.
4 for assassinate, 1 from hammer.
I mean, if he got another psychic interrogation off before then, we could see another 7 points being added. Yeah. So he'd be at 53 then, and then another point of psychic interrogation. You're right. Yeah, another 8 points we get added. So it'd be at 54. Noah's still too close. I think Noah probably has
Noah's.
This.
Yeah, if John's sitting at a 54, in Noah's turn, if he scores a 12,
he's already at 54.
Yeah.
And if he's scoring a 12,
he's getting stranglehold.
Exactly right. He's by default getting 3 more points than John is. So John needs to find 4 more points. If John can get another 4 points in his turn somehow.
I think we're in John's combat phase. I don't know.
I think we are, yeah. Where can he get points from? He has to get
round 5.
Maybe there's
Noah's turn on the screen.
Okay, so maybe we are jumping down into Noah's turn. Look, he doesn't honestly have that much to do, Noah. Like, as long as his boys are alive and not.
He's sitting on. Yeah, he's sitting. Yeah,
he's just falling back. Sitting objectives. Impulse is falling back as well. He did lose another impulsor, by the way.
He did.
He's down to 2.
So those guys, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 objectives he's on. He falls back against the ratlings on the bottom left objective, right? And then he just holds it.
But what did we say? We said about an impulse. He has the ability. He has around about the ability to kill an impulsor return. That has held almost exactly true. Like 1 a turn for 4 turns is what he's pretty much accomplished.
Yep.
He missed 1 turn. With turn 1, he didn't kill 1. Every other turn, he's popped 1.
All right. Well, I think he's rolling the dice here, but if our math's right, I think this is done for John.
He's just trying to see what he can pull on the assassinates. I guess he's got the last chances or whatever. The
Yeah, the
Gaunt's
Gaunt's
Ghosts are at the other middle of the table. Just pop some shots into them. Everyone you kill's worth a couple.
Yep.
Very simple stuff. We might head over to the Hank and Fred game. This one looks like to be wrapping up. We'll get a final score for you guys when it comes through. Man, Fred is just pulling ahead of Hank. He's up to a 23-point lead now. It was 20 points. He's extended it by a couple more now.
Yep. That's I think we he's still going to have a good chunk of wraiths left. I mean, it doesn't look like he's lost any, and we've seen a fair more chunk of bodies go away from crunchy meat wall here, but meat pie, if you will. Sorry, I forgot what I originally termed it. But yeah, that points gap is getting pretty big.
It's just OBSEC versus no OBSEC, and the OBSEC went first, so they're getting the chance to pace out the game pretty well.
Yeah.
Classy Backham, no player mic this tourney, so we get to listen to your sweet voice all weekend. Whilst I am here, I'm not required for all of the stream. You guys have a myriad, an absolutely amazing lineup of commentary. Not only me.
Did we not tell you, Adam? We signed you up for all 72 hours.
Well, it's going to be hard because I'm playing in a Teams event tomorrow.
I have faith in you. Get a headpiece. Use a phone.
Do both. Yeah. But yeah, no, you got.
I believe in Adam Camilleri.
I no. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sleep I will not be getting. But just going to give you guys a quick rundown of what you guys can expect from the weekend, commentary wise. So during the GT, you can have. So I'll be joined. Seth's going to be with me for another round. Yeah, then I'm going to be joined by the awesome Alex Tose, who's joining me for his first line of commentary. So I'm going to be able to break him in, see how he goes. Then starting tomorrow's games, Alex will be joined by John Cornell. Then we've got Scary, Mitch Pelham, and Seth Oster. You guys will be teaming up. Dustin Henshaw and Scary, Dustin and Mitch. Like a lot of Mitch Pelham tomorrow. Dustin Henshaw, absolute superstar as well. And then on day 3, on your Saturday, Chris Irvine with some Alex Cornell goodness. And then some Dustin and Danny McDevitt. That's going to be a good game as well. And then I'll be taking us away with the last couple of games on the Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a great lineup, guys. You guys should hopefully have nothing but enjoyment ahead of you for your weekend, and hopefully you're wetting a brush, doing something productive with your time, apart from donating to an amazing charity. But which you should definitely do and win some awesome prizes.
Yeah. And every $30 gets you a raffle ticket, and I think there's another raffle coming up, probably not too far from now.
Yeah, are they doing one a round, or are they doing one like every other hour?
I think it depends. That would be a question for the talking mirror.
Yeah,
if they could talk to us.
The man in the mirror. It's our. Beautiful. So Colin has apparently.
There'll be announcements shortly for more prizes.
Yeah, it looks like we're into the wrap up. So this is Fred's turn 4. Look, all he needs to do is just disrupt the primary scoring from Hank and then play keep away, essentially. And then this game's pretty well in the bag, unfortunately. Yeah, I do think going first was just huge for Fred. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, getting that, his secondary choices were all about taking the center and holding 3 objectives and playing that primary game, leaning into the OBSEC of his army, and that let him do that pretty handily. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't think he's got the firepower to push back those wraiths if Hank had gone first and was able to shove those midfield. I don't think he's got the damage output to really remove that many wraith constructs.
100% he doesn't. So it would have been just Fred trying to get a toe onto those objectives every turn. Yeah. But mind you, like you put all the Phoenix Lords are OBSEC, aren't they? So just like enough wraiths to make it hard for him to place a model plus a Phoenix Lord, and then it's yours. You can't, like they can't get it back. Yeah, so I think that would have been absolutely huge for Hank if he could have done it. I really want to know how well the Phoenix Lords have done, because I haven't noticed them in this game, and I thought I would see them everywhere. Like Jane Zar would be, knocking around in the top left, supported by Karandrus. Baharoth would be jumping up and getting down and doing all the dumb crap. I do see Baharoth on the bottom right though. I believe that's him there, the bottom right objective.
I think so. I mean, it looks like Eldar, and it makes me angry, so it's probably Baharoth.
Makes me angry too, mate. Makes me furious. Yeah. It would be a lot of crikeys. JK has asked if you can get Adam and Steve Joel together. That would be a lot of crikeys. Yeah, absolutely. What is Steve? Steve Joel should be. Yeah, we should absolutely have stood over that guy and made him rock up for Charity Hammer. He would have done it.
He probably would have.
He'd make us all look bad though.
He would sound a lot better than us. Let's put it that way.
That's putting it nicely. And yeah, he's got a little professionalism that I would dream of having. Is the way he presents.
Ooh.
Oh, you gonna read out that? We just got a final score from our table 1.
80.
What is it, mate?
86 points to 70 points in Noah's favor.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we saw that going down. What was 86? So 16-point win.
Yep, sounds like it.
Sounds like better secondaries to me, and the bottom of turn is literally all I heard there. Yeah, I mean, well done to the Meatwall. Hashtag Meatwall. Pour one out for Meatwall. We may never see his kind again.
We will remember you fondly.
We will remember you. Someone has to pick up this mantle. Somebody has to show up and be the Meatwall that we deserve. What's the orc list in this lineup? Is that going to be Meatwall enough for us?
It's no meat. It's all
it's Mechwall.
Yeah.
Was it Gorkanauts and Morkanauts and Death Dreads and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you got Mega Dreads. Dude, I love those models so much.
They are a lot of fun. I had a good time painting all those. Sad they're not going to be seeing the table with Sean. But I'm sure he's got some other good models to use, but just, I want Sean to play with my models.
Proxied. Yeah, because he'd bless them. They'd play well after that. Yeah.
That's the real reason to play in this event, is to get the top players to bless your models.
To bless your models with their luck. It's absolute. People who may not think it's a thing, you're wrong. It's absolutely a thing. Good players somehow just roll better. Like, have you met Nick? I've met Nick. That guy.
The amount of 9-inch charges they make consistently is all you need to see.
Nick is not okay. Also, the last game I played in the Art of War house was versus Richard, and it was a turn versus Necrons. It was my Dark Angels versus Necrons, and I literally had a good list into him. I actually had a good list, and then he proceeded to make. He failed two.
No, let me guess. He made a bunch of 4-ups.
No. He made a bunch of charges and just trapped all my stuff in.
He's renowned for 4-ups.
Yeah, so he went first and just saturated the objectives. I hit him back pretty hard, and then he just charged onto all my home objectives with his 40 warriors that kept coming back and a bunch of and his 3 units of wraiths. He failed 2 8-inch charges but made 3 9-inch charges, and I was like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of those were boxcars as well, and I was just like, this isn't okay. This is not okay. You wonder why he wins events. But no, he's just. I'm sassing him. He's a phenomenal player.
You got to give a little sass.
We gotta cut him down a little bit, right? Ooh. Okay, guys. So, the gentlemen on this table have pretty much seen into the future. They've scryed into the future and realized there is pretty much no chance that Hank can win this game. So we are going to call it for time, and we're going to switch over we're going to have a little 10-minute interlude. We're going to call this. What do you reckon Fred's predicted score is going to be at the end of this? Do you reckon? I'm thinking about 85.
Predicted scores. I cannot predict as well as you can. He's got 7 more points he can make up on primary. He's going to do that. 7. So that'd be 67. Yep. Tack on another 3 points for Stranglehold. Well, he'll score at the end, so 6 points. So, yeah.
I've got about a 72, I think.
Yeah, I could see him getting 12, 13 more points. I don't know if he's going to get any more assassinate. Maybe hold the middle and not fall back. So another 3 to
Yeah.
5. Yeah,
Um,
I think I like 15 points is so putting him at 75 and then 85 for paint.
Hank's gonna get about Hank's gonna get about another 20. Hank can get like 23 on primary still. He can end on like 43, I believe, if everything goes perfectly from here. But that no prisoner score, if it's accurate right now, won't give him enough extra. And scout the enemy behind enemy lines are looking like donuts or single digits. So in my opinion, Fred's going to be winning this by somewhere around the 10 to 15 points level. So we're going to tune this one out. We're going to head over to a 10-minute interlude, and then you'll be back with Colin, who'll be doing a bunch of announcements and being his charming self. So we'll see you soon, guys, for round 2 of this best worst RTT of all time. Thanks for joining us.
Woo! That was fun, huh? Just, if you really were feeling like the old missions were what you liked, let's get you a little bit of a palate cleanser. Let's put some absolute trash on the table and see what it's all about. So, that's clearly what we're doing here. I gotta be honest, when I paired them, I probably should have considered the fact that guard army had no ability to kill that Ultramarine army. And that Eldar army really struggled into those intercessors, but that's okay. Bad RTT is well underway. We're gonna go ahead and have Noah continue on, and Noah's going to play against the wonderful and always charming Fred. They're gonna play at 3 o'clock. But next up, we've got ourselves with Matt Evans. Matt is playing what is effectively 8th edition Tyranids. He's got Swarmlord, a Malanthrope, 2 units of Stealers, 2 units of Devil Gaunts, 2 units of Hive Guard, and 2 units of Sky Slashers. End of flippin' list. It is not good. It is from the Tyranid book, so it's pretty good. And he's playing against Mitch, who has got a Sisters of Battle list that is just not good, but it is a lot of bolters, which is probably not what he's looking for. And then on stream 2, we're going to have Sean Naden playing like 9 chonky robot orc bottles. That list is awful, by the way. And he's going to play against Tyler Bortel, and Tyler is playing Alpha Legion. And he has Cultists, and he has 3 Vindicators. No, Vindicators? Vindicators, thank you. Because 3 Vindicators would also be terrible. Also bad with 3 Vindicators. And Mitch does have a Vindicator, and he said, can I use the stratagem to trade it for a better assassin? And I said, no, you cannot. That's what I said. Okay, so that's what's about to happen here in just a little while. They're getting rotated out, hopefully behind me. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but, maybe. And I'm going to give some stuff away. So just a reminder, you can donate. You're going to win stuff. Let's give some stuff away right now, and then I'll remind you all how you do that. So, earlier, I gave away a Beast Stega box set, like that big orc box set. Hey guys, orcs probably really good right now. I'm just saying, the orc changes pretty flippin' hot. So, gave Bill Serwin. Sorry, Bill, if that's not how you say your last name. We'll just call you Bill Smith, and then it's easy. You win the Beast Snega box. So we'll get your address and we'll send that right out to you. Also, Dave McLeod has won the Army Painter Speed Paint box set, which is also a big chunky box of awesomeness. Additionally, Alexander White has won an Art of War Room subscription for a month. Now, those War Room subscriptions are a bonus thing. You can win those and another prize. But we're giving out one of those in each time slot for the extent of the weekend. So that's what we've given away as of right now. I have 37 more things to give away. 37. And then at the end, $1,200 gift card, Hammerhead Games, and separate grand prize, Sean Naden, who's wandering around behind me somewhere. He's a really good painter. You're going to send him some models. He's going to paint an army for you and send it back. I kind of wish I could win that. I think that sounds really, really fun. He asked, should I just give you an Eldar army that I've painted to give away? And I said, lots of people hate Eldar, so no, is what I said. So he's going to paint whatever army you want. He has made no commitment about how long that will take, but I'm sure that he'll get right on it. So, hey Josh, come sit down.
Hey, what's up?
Come sit down.
All right.
Hey guys, meet Josh.
Hello there.
Tell everybody about Joelhammer while you're here.
Oh, awesome.
Go for it.
Spry the moment. So Joel Hammer is actually a tournament that I modeled after Charity Hammer
Woo!
some years ago. Colin does amazing work here, and it's honestly a huge blessing to be able to come and just help out here.
In the terrible weather.
In the absolutely awful weather.
Just the horrible weather.
It's
lovely.
so cold. It is awesome. It's really.
Is
feels
it
really
cold?
Nice. No.
Okay.
It's amazing. But
You're from Connecticut. I know that there's a lot of bad weather that lives there.
yes, yeah, yeah. We get a good variety.
Yeah, a good variety of terrible weather. So when's Joel Hammer? When is it?
So Joel Hammer this year is July 9th.
Okay.
You can tune in on twitch.tv/Team Battle Brothers.
Okay.
And we'll have all sorts of fun, silly shenanigans going on. All the proceeds, in memory of my older brother Joel, we're sending them over to St. Vincent Special Needs School that's in Trumbull, Connecticut.
Wonderful.
So we'll be supplying, kids with wheelchairs and school supplies and all sorts of stuff that they may need. They do awesome work there. So just being able to help out as much as we can is going to be awesome. So
Cool.
yeah.
You're going to hang out with me till you're about to play. So we'll get
About
you.
to hop
We'll get
on
you gone in a minute.
Outward
I
Realms.
did want to share with you guys. We always like to talk about this. Josh is our youngest member of Charity Hammer this year.
Indeed.
So the first year it was John,
Yep.
which is great. The second year, I guess this is the fourth year, so I'm forgetting one year. But last year it was Tyler and Lucas. Now we've got our boy Josh here. What is your favorite change from the data slate this morning?
Oh my gosh. Necron vehicles getting core.
Yeah?
I think that's hysterical.
Uh-huh.
The Silent King giving himself like full rerolls.
And just like resurrecting Menhirs?
Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
you can come over and just resurrect. Yeah, one of the Menhirs is like, and I don't know how exactly that's going to work with like, say a Menhir
Mm-hmm.
dies, Silent King takes like 8 wounds, and then a Menhir comes back.
Yeah, John had the same question.
What?
Like now because now you have a situation where the Silent King has to finish taking the wounds.
Yep.
Has to.
And then
What
can
I
you
like
then
about
resurrect
it,
the
there's
Silent
two
King?
things I think are really big about that. One of which is that the Silent King is really a good shooting unit,
Yeah.
but because it doesn't have rerolls normally, it just flubs
Yeah.
sometimes. But if it gives itself full rerolls,
And that's true for combat too.
yeah,
Like giving himself full rerolls to wound in combat is awesome.
yeah. And then the other thing is that resurrecting that Menhir will shorten a charge,
Yep.
which is also great tech. So, and now we've got the Boy King himself walking through. They can't see you.
I danced in the background.
He danced in the back. Oh, on the way in? Excellent. All right. Josh is going to go play some Outward Realms. We have a little mini Outward Realms tournament going on with really excellent 40K players that have not played Outward Realms before. Our individual streams are not up yet. There was a tech problem. They will be up before the GT. So for right now, you have 2 choices. 2. First, you can watch the thing you're watching right now, which will have commentary from Adam Camilleri and Seth Oster. And we'll jump back and forth between the 2 40K tables, or you can watch the Outward Realms YouTube channel, which we have a link all over the place, I hope. And Josh is going to be playing the Batra,
Yes, sir.
which are they're like, if you guys liked Battletoads, the olds, let me speak to the olds for a moment. You remember Battletoads? These are space toads that play like Eldar.
Yep.
I'm just saying. And who are you
Fun
playing
boys.
against?
I'm playing Mitchell Hunter with
Okay.
I forget what the faction name is.
Okay.
They're big robot boys.
The AI.
The AI, yeah.
Yeah, they're called
the
yes,
AI.
they're called the Nightfall, and they are a artificial intelligence that would
Yep.
like to destroy Josh.
Indeed.
All right, go have fun, man. Thank you for stopping
fun.
by.
Thank you.
And that is why we have an extra chair here. So when people walk in here to get coffee or snacks, I can ambush them and make them come talk to y'all. So we'll try to get literally everyone who's here. We'll try to get on at some point. We've now had Billy and John and Josh. That's 3 of like 30 something people. So moving right along. So what I'm going to do now is vamp. That's what they say in the business. And I'm going to try to entertain y'all while we get those games set up and ready to go. So those games are getting set up. They're getting deployed. If you guys have any questions, you can put them into the chat. And do we have questions? No. Okay. But if we had questions, I would answer them. In the meantime, I will tell you a funny story. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, that video game was great.
Widely considered the hardest, most painful game ever.
You guys can't hear Billy, but he says that that Battletoads is considered to be one of the hardest games ever created. It was like Super Nintendo?
Original.
Oh, it's original Nintendo?
Yeah.
And it was a side scroller beat 'em up, right? Like Double Dragon and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay. There's a new Turtles game that has come out, but my understanding is it's a fighting game, which I'm bad at. So.
From Chris Irvine, Colin, if you were to write an army for the first RTT, what would it be?
Ooh. First of all, I think that people missed up by not making a Gene Stealer Cold Army. That's the first thing that I think people weren't thinking about. I think that if you put a bunch of units of 10 neophytes on the table and you didn't give tech to make neophytes good, that's a pretty terrible list. I think people really missed out on that. Let me think what else. If he had given me a faction, it would be easier. I think the problem is that people thought about what's bad in the normal meta and not just what's trash. So like, Siegler had it right. He's like, if your list doesn't include all data sheets that are some of the worst in the game, then you did it wrong. I think that Vulture spam would have been hilarious because they're I'm sorry, Valkyrie spam. I want the transports.
Yeah, you can't do the vultures because of flyer.
Yeah, I don't want the vultures. They got too many shots. I'm not interested in that. But if you had a guard army that was only Sentinels and Vulture and Valkyries, that'd be pretty funny.
Guardsmen, of course.
Well, you have to have guardsmen, yeah.
You're just something useless to deliver.
Oh man, I think the orc list is beautiful. I think that the orc list is a stunning and amazing thing of amazement, because it gives up all of the secondaries, and it doesn't kill things, and it doesn't score points. So like it's like the perfect trifecta of how bad can this literally be? Who else could do that? What other army could really just put soup guard? You could do a guard vehicle list that was all terrible vehicles.
That was what Mitch did.
Are we keeping them off the table?
What do you mean? Are they still playing?
Yes, the table.
Yes, go tell them that they have to get off the table right now. Because I'm literally vamping in front of everyone right while you get your game set up right now.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay.
You need me right here?
No, 3 hours from now.
Three.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, everybody. I'm organizing while entertaining. Do we have any other questions?
Yes. First, what are the donation totals up to?
Oh, excellent question. That's why I have
208.
That's why I have a laptop in my lap. Not just because that's where laptops go. We're at 7,502.77. I like that this light goes on and off. That's not distracting at all while I'm talking. This light, Tyler, you explained that this light's a jerk.
Yes.
Okay. Can I, if I get too frustrated at it, can I just ninja kick it over?
I already told you I am.
Okay. We're travel to tournaments and set the meta. So I'm super excited about that. If you guys can donate, there is still lots of time to get prizes. I will be giving out stuff in the middle of this next game, an hour and a half from now. And what happens if we just, oh, there we go. An hour and a half from now, we'll be giving out more prizes. And so you can go donate at, the easiest thing to do is to go to charityhammer.com and click on the donate now link. That's the easiest thing to do. Or I think there's a link on the stream probably for the, is there?
To set up the button.
Okay, well, we're going to have a button, and it's going to be great. But donate in $30 increments, because every $30 is a raffle ticket, and you can win stuff. And if you don't want the things you won, that's okay. But you can win stuff. So that's really great. Do we have other questions?
What matchup are you excited for?
Ooh. I have several. Okay, so tonight, from the Best in Tabletop Open, Tyler and Steve Trimble both went undefeated with completely busted, stupid Tyranids. And so we're going to let them play those pre-nerfed Tyranid lists into each other to find out who would have actually won at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm super excited about that. I'm really excited to see orcs, just in general. I was already thinking that the people that are bringing orcs to the GT were being undervalued, and now their WOG stuff is really a big deal. So I'm super excited about that. Hank is playing a Samhain Eldar list that has 3 units of bikes in it, of Shining Spears in it, and all the units have Exarch upgrades. Oh, am I not talking to people anymore? I'm good? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm really excited about triple Shining Spear Sam Hain. That army has 22-inch advanced and charging Shining Spears. He used all 3 of the Exarch upgrades. You guys might think that he's trolling. That might actually be good. One of the things that we learned in the Best in Tabletop Open last weekend is that Eldar can't compete with Blood Angels. Both Hank and I got completely wrecked. I understand that Hail can, but we don't play Hail. And Hail got nerfed to not including Grunt Cover, which means Sanguinary Guard are a massive problem for Hail as well. So I think that the Blood Angels and other Marines, and also now Leman Russ Guard and like all this other stuff that's going to have armor of Contempt. Sisters also Sisters are probably S tier, and they have armor of Contempt. All of this armor of Contempt makes Eldar kind of challenging. So our thought is that because Shining Spears get to shoot and punch at AP4, that may actually be the trick. And because we're not trying to strangle it to the last anymore, it might literally be engage. And so you're sending the spears, they're getting engaged in a quarter, they're shooting something, they're killing something. I'm really excited to see. Hank is a great player. He'll get some really good Eldar data. So I'm super interested in that. How are the games looking? Do we have people deployed? Are we about ready to go back to the commentators, or should I vamp for a while longer, everyone? I can go to the pool? It sounds nice. Do you want to show them the pool house? More. Is it back on me now? Sorry, guys, we're learning as we go here. That was the pool house. We'll go to that occasionally to let people see that. That's where people are hanging out and playing their other games. So that's just kind of a fun angle for you. As is this angle, where you get to see everybody mill about. That way over there is table 3 that's playing Outward Realms that you got. Sorry, I should not turn away from the microphone. That's table 3 over there. So this is the when I went to buy this house, I was excited about the house. The kids were excited about the pool, but then I discovered that triple garage over there also goes with this house. So there's a triple garage here and a triple garage over there. And so that's turned into nothing but Warhammer. And so the far right bay is the normal stream where you guys see me do our content. And then that's where stream 1 is. And then the middle one is Outward Realms table. And the one on the far left is the good old fashioned table 2, as it's called.
Two comments worth making. One, Irvine thinks Colin Vamp is best vamp.
Oh, I appreciate Colin Vamp as best vamp.
And there's a question from Justin Randolph of Cam.
No, my family really likes it here, and we've also purchased too many things. So moving is now problematic because we've now filled this space with crap. I gotta tell you guys, I like vamping. I think it's great. The problem is and the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve bears here." And the bear says, "Oh, this is outrageous. I want a beer." And the bartender says, "I'm sorry, we don't serve bears here." And the bear says, "You see that woman at the end of the bar? I'm going to eat that woman if you don't give me a beer." By the way, beer and bear both being in this story is actually really hard for me right now. And the bartender says, "We don't serve bears here." The bear goes down to the end of the bar and eats the woman. And then he comes back and says, "Now can I have a beer?" And the bartender says, "We don't serve bears who do drugs here either." And the bear says, "What? I don't do drugs." "Sure you do. That's the barbiturate." There you go. Terrible joke from Colin, the first of many for the weekend. John, come sit down and tell us about your game. We're vamping here. John's going to come tell us about the guard list that he just played into Impulsor Spam.
I did.
I think that you made the score fairly close.
I did my absolute best.
What was your strategy?
So I think I misplayed my strategy, unfortunately. Starting on turn 2, my strategy was to clog the objectives with bodies to physically prevent him from going on there.
The meat wall was trending.
Ooh.
The meat wall did do
That
work.
was actually my high school nickname.
Okay. Lost all focus there.
Yeah.
So my general
As is
strategy
appropriate.
was to try to pick off the transports one at a time, while like preventing him from getting in to shoot the Rattlings, and then just shoot 30 Rattlings at him 5 times each in the hopes that Saint Sixes soon would be here.
Okay.
That worked to an extent.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 13 on Assassinate, which I will say I'm proud of. I did it by playing intentionally poorly, unfortunately, because I had to give him Gaunt's Ghost to get the last Assassinate. And unfortunately, Gaunt's Ghost took him to a 15 on Assassinate on turn 5. Because that's how Gaunt's Ghost rolls. He didn't get the unit, but he got enough models.
And it just gives up all of Assassinate?
It's 6 character models.
In a unit together?
Yes, and he killed 5 of them.
Okay. Probably easily.
They do have a 5-up save.
Okay. Well, because they're just humans.
They're also toughness 3.
Yes. So now, you don't have to play in the worst RTT. Is that?
I don't. I'm free. I'm liberated.
Is that a little bit refreshing?
Well, I would have liked to play another game with these bad lists, but I wouldn't have liked to play another game with that list.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win in the in that 8th edition Tyranid list being played into
I think it's the Sisters of Battle.
You think so?
I think
too many bolters.
Not do my job well enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's that, and that I specifically took all of the bad Sisters weapons that are like only large quantities of blast weapons at strength 4 AP1, and then he got paired into the 30-man gods. Unfortunately, he also paired into a Malanthrope, and I gave him the custom order of ignore hit penalties on your bolt guns. So, and he has 2 CP to stand to move and then count and to get full range on rapid fire weapons on his sister squad.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that might be bad for the NIDs.
I think there's only bolt guns in that list, and that's not what the NIDs needed.
But is anyone watching going to be sad to watch the NIDs get trashed? I think no. I think the answer is no. Not only do we want to see current NIDs get trashed, but this will feel like we're seeing the most offensive NIDs get trashed, which was when you deploy against them and Double Cracked Sealer would just go crazy and destroy you. Yes?
Yep.
What's that? Okay, so we're going to stop the stream, and when we come back, Adam Camilleri and Seth Oster will take us into the games. Hey guys, remember to donate. We're going to give away more prizes soon. Thanks, everybody.
Where we stopped?